From McCormick Gymnasium in Fargo, North Dakota, I'm Cade Busick alongside Haley Buckles as the Shanley Deacons prepare to take on the Fargo South Bruins in North Dakota girls high school basketball action. We'll be right back to the action in a moment, but first we're going to go down to the PA announcer.
Please remain standing as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back to girls basketball action after a word from our sponsors.
This broadcast is presented by American Family Insurance, Ken Craft Agency, Bell Bank, Beyond Boundaries Therapy Services, Butler Machinery, Ed's Marine, the Fargo Jet Center, First International Bank and Trust, Forum Communications, Haley's Hope, Hurley's Religious Goods, Luther Family Buick GMC, Master Construction, Moore Engineering, Network Center, Northern Improvement, Off the Wall Advertising, Robert Gibb and Sons, Sanford, Shields, Taxman, TCI Insurance, and Wolf Steel Construction.
So Haley, who are going to be some of your players to watch? You know, looking on the visiting side, the Fargo South Bruins, Wagner, a freshman, 5'7" guard. She is their point leader for the team, and she plays very aggressive and has solid defense. Now looking over on the Shanley side, Riley Payne, the 11th grader, 5'10" guard. She has been playing fantastic this year, had great defense, shoots the ball quite a lot. She does a really good job, got a good shooting percentage from the arc. Very all-around great athlete out there.
Yeah, she's been really good for the Deacons, and Wagner, especially last year, hit some threes from about half court last year that I don't know the boys could have made, so that was impressive to watch. But this is going to be a fun game. I expect to see a lot of threes put up, too.
I expect a lot of shooting in this game, especially from both sides. You know, Shanley's been known to shoot quite a lot of shots these past few years and shoot quite well from behind the arc. And South this year has been playing pretty well. They're shooting, pretty good percentage. it's exciting to see what's going to happen, especially with these two teams going against each other here in this great facility.
Yeah, I mean, you got Shanley, who's obviously jostling up there for a top 2 or 3 seed, but then you got South, who's really trying to position themselves because they got to win this game if they want to have the chance at making EDC.
Correct. And that's a very important game for South, and I think they have that in the back of their minds, coming out here to play hard. And Shanley's always been a hard team to play at home. The girls' team's been playing really well this year. And it's going to be fun to see how the Bruins, mindset comes out right away. I think they're going to have to come out and, put as much as they can initially for the first 5 minutes is going to be key in this game.
That's for sure. Another thing to watch, these teams aren't rested. I know Shanley for sure. I'm not quite sure about South, but Shanley had to play a really good Cheyenne team yesterday, and we don't know if they're going to be rested. That's something you do have to watch.
Yeah, and that's one thing you do have to watch is coming off big games, and Shanley coming off a big game against Cheyenne last night. I wonder if they're going to be mentally ready and they come out here and play like they did the other night.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of, I'll use the term trap game. You got to come out and you got to play hard. Even though you are slated to be a better player or a better team than the team you're going against, you can't let this one slip away. I think Shanley kind of feels that way against the Davies game last week. They can't have another one of those.
I agree.
And the tip. Payne will go up against Holston. Ball's going to go up to Huber. Huber's going to pass it over to Busick. Busick into Chrisman. Chrisman for 2. It's going to rattle out. Rebound will go to Schroeder. Schroeder's going to dribble out over to Wagner. Ball is going to go out. They're going to say on Olivia Manuel. And Shanley will set up the press after the ball went out on them. Wagner will inbound.
And that's the one thing that Shanley does really well. They press the ball, and they press it very good. Trapping on the sidelines. Coming up the middle is probably going to be the open area for the Bruins. We'll see if they use it here.
Well, we'll see. Ball's going to go over, and it's going to go over to Abacher. She's going to bring it up, throw it ahead to Schroeder. Schroeder, it's going to get blocked by Chrisman. Chrisman's going to give it to Payne. Payne's going to bring it up the left side. Throw it back up ahead to Chrisman. Ball's going to not go out, and it's going to be Holston who's going to come down with it. But she's going to pass it over to Abacher on the right, who's going to bring it up the middle. Abacher guarded by Manuel. He's going to pass it over to Holston. Ball's going to go back over to Abacher. Over to Wagner. Wagner dribbles in. She's going to kick it out. Ball's going to go over to Nelson. Nelson for 2. No good. Rebound Payne. Payne's going to push it up. Going to get tipped away. She's going to throw it up ahead to Manuel. Manuel for 2. No good. Rebound Schroeder. Schroeder is going to give it over to Abacher. Abacher is going to bring it up the right side. And give it over to Schroeder. Schroeder gives it up to Nelson. Nelson into Schroeder. Schroeder for 2, and South scores the first bucket of the game.
That was a great play by South right there. Watching them, they struggled in the beginning, and Shanley has been struggling there. Crispin there for 2, first 2 buckets there for the Deacons. The Deacons have had opportunities to get buckets already. They've missed 2 or 3 layups under the basket, 2 of which by Crispin, and Crispin came in there and just redeemed herself by making that little one. And so we'll see what happens here going back. It's tie game. There's 16 left on the clock.
Yeah, that was a really nice bucket for Shanley. I feel like they had to calm down a little bit. They seem to be pushing, and that'll help them out as the ball is inbounded to Carlson. Carlson will go over to Wagner. Wagner back to Carlson. Carlson over to Nelson. Nelson back up to Carlson. Back over to Nelson. Nelson for 3. No good. Rebound Payne. Payne's going to push the ball up the middle. She'll throw it over to Busick in the corner. Busick for 2. No good. Rebound Manuel. Manuel is going to give it over to Busick. Busick's going to drive in. Shot for 2. No good. Rebound Manuel again. Manuel for 2. No good. And it's going to go out of bounds on Chrisman, I believe.
See what I was talking about earlier about the opportunities that the Deacons have? Right there, they've missed 3 shots. 2 of which were ones that they're used to making, mid-range shots. The other one was a little bit contested. But those are the shots in a tight game like this, even though we're just starting. A team that is, maybe a little underestimated at times, you still have to be on your game. And South right now is on their game. They've been coming out, passing the ball pretty well. Another shot there. Deep 3.
Wagner last year, if you remember, she hit some shots from that volleyball line that had the entire crowd going, and she really kept that a close game last year.
Yeah, and I'm fully aware that she's probably going to pull up from behind the arc, more in that volleyball range. You can see her driving up the middle of the court, contested, no foul.
Huber's going to bring the ball up the right side. Over to Busick. Busick's going to drive in. She's going to get it over to Chrisman. Chrisman for 2. No good. It's going to be rebounded by Holston. Holston's going to throw it over to Carlson. Carlson's going to bring it up, guarded by Payne. It's going to be stolen by Payne. Payne, she's going to be fouled by Carlson. And then that'll be the first foul of the game. You know, Haley, you were talking about the problems that Shanley's had shooting and with their opportunities so far. That killed them against Davies last week. And
it did.
Yeah.
They shot 21% against Davies.
You know that they're going to remember that, and that it's going to be in the coach's mind. That can't happen again.
No, and it can't. And, you know, it has in the beginnings of, look like that with their shooting percentage currently. But, you got to still go out and play. You can't be getting into a mental game. You have to be going out there and playing every time you go down that court. And South is doing a great job besides, the 2 turnovers they had, both by Payne. And appears to be a foul there by Huber. First one of the night for her. But like I was talking about, it's going to be a mental game tonight the way that it looks like it's going right now.
Moriko Hakim is going to check in for the Deacons. Ball's going to go over to Wagner in the corner. Wagner's trapped. She's going to throw it out on Busick. It'll stay South basketball.
See, now that was a great play by Busick, even though she's a little young sophomore coming out and playing this year, to be aware that she's in the corner and can trap real quick there. Sometimes younger players, sophomores, freshmen have a tough time understanding when it's a good time to trap, when it's not. And right there, she showed a perfect execution on when to trap.
Did a really good job there. Carlson's going to throw it over to Wagner. Wagner is going to go back up to Carlson. Carlson's going to throw it into the corner for Nelson. Nelson's going to drive in. Shot for 2. No good. It's going to go out of bounds on Shanley. And it will stay South ball underneath.
Looking at Hakim in there, she has great height. And her ability to get up and get rebounds is going to be really big right now. Number 40's in right now. Number 40, Schroeder, is a big player for them, as you can see, coming out right there.
Nelson with the 3. That's going to give South the lead again, and that's something that if you're Shanley, you're a little upset about, is the ball is going to go out of bounds on Hakim. And if you are Shanley, this is a frustrating start, especially the first time these 2 teams played. I don't know that South got the ball across half court for the first 2 minutes.
And that means, a coaching right there, just making adjustments and understanding the play of the game. And looking right now, see how quickly they broke that press, coming right up the middle, kicking it back out into the middle. Sometimes smart passes need to be awareful there. Payne passes out to Manuel. Manuel drives up for the easy bucket. Quick layup. There you go. Down by 1.
That's a really nice play by Payne. That really helped her out as the ball is going to get brought up by South. Wagner's going to go up and throw it over to Holston. Holston's going to throw it, but Wagner's going to get the ball. Ball's over to Nelson. Nelson for 2. No good, and it's going to be rebounded by Payne. Payne is going to bring the ball up the left side. Payne over to Huber. Huber over to Busick on the side. Busick for 3. It's good.
A little bit of momentum going over to the Deacons side now. Let's see if they can keep it or if South can counteract it. And a steal by Payne. Dishes it back down to Manuel on the left side. Easy 2 buckets for Manuel yet again.
Shanley's had a really nice kind of little run here. They've really been helping them as Wagner's going to get the ball in the middle. Wagner's going to throw it all the way ahead to Nelson. Nelson got behind everybody. Shot's going to be no good, though, and Busick's going to bring the ball back up the middle. Busick over to Manuel on the side. Back into Busick. Busick is going to get fouled and 1, and she will go to the line to try to complete the old school 3-point play.
Looking back at that play, Manuel, as we can see right here, checks it over, dumps it down, up for a quick layup, and an N1 foul. Manuel's been playing really well this past series. She's had 4 points and an assist right there and a big key, and she had one steal in that little possession they had.
Yeah, she's been doing really well. So, Haley, what are both coaches talking about in this timeout? Obviously, South just called the timeout, but
looking at South, I think the main thing they got to do is keeping their head in the game and staying focused. As you can see, they went on their heels a little bit there, started lofting the passes over top of the defense, not going through them. It's really difficult as a player being out there, and you get down, you're on such a hot start, and you get down for 5-6 points here and there. You got to start executing. You cannot be throwing balls over top and getting them tipped, getting steals. And for the Deacons side right now, I think they just need to keep going out there and going, not slowing down, keeping that pedal down and going through. They're doing a really good job right now at pressuring, getting steals, tips on balls. they need to keep doing that and getting quick buckets and transitions like we saw Manuel did a few times. Payne got a steal, another Manuel, easy bucket. Manuel checking down. Like I said, Manuel 3-4 times there. She's playing phenomenal right now. But that's the key, just staying in the game and focus. And I think both these teams will go out and do that.
Yeah, that's definitely something that you got to watch for. I mean, both teams, you can't let the records matter right now.
No.
Oh, you got to keep your head in the game because you're just trying to win one game tonight.
That's correct. You go one game at a time.
As Busick's going to go to the line to shoot her and one. It's good.
3-point play for Busick.
Wagner's going to inbound the ball. Ball's going to go up to Holston. Ball's going to go back over to Carlson on the left side. Carlson's going to throw it over to Wagner. Wagner's going to bring it up. She's going to drive in, go around everybody. Ball's going to bounce out, and the rebound, it's going to be a jump ball, actually. Rotating possession will stay south ball, though.
That play by Wagner, that you should drive in that Euro step with the right foot to come over top of Mokeem. That is a great basketball play. Now the execution of it going in didn't quite go, but they did get the rebound and the ball back for an opportunity, another shot just like that.
Ball is going to be stolen here by Holston. She's going to give it up to Carlson after a few events happen. Wagner's going to give it and throw it back over to Carlson. Carlson with the deep three on the bank. Well, they'll still count it.
Exactly, and like we said, South is not scared to pull up way behind that arc.
Yeah, I mean, that's something you can't be afraid of as Bozier comes down with the board. Or Payne and Wagner are going to end up in a tie-up, and it will stay Shanley ball underneath.
Good job for Payne there to stay in it, stay in the game. She had, a difficult shot there in the beginning, and it didn't go in, and then got tipped, but she came back out and got the steal right away to give the opportunity back to them.
Manuel for three. It's good. She is having a phenomenal start right now as the Deacons will go into a press.
Yes, she is. Manuel's been playing really well both defensively and offensively. And good trap here.
Wagner's going to, she got stopped, and the ball is going to end up stolen by Busick after the tip. Ball's going to go up to Huber on the right side. Huber's going to throw it into Hakim. Hakim for two. It's good.
Now South right now needs to just relax, find the gaps in the defense, because there is gaps.
There's definitely gaps, but they're dribbling with their eyes down, and they're not seeing what's happening ahead of them.
Correct.
As we're going to see substitutions for both teams. Huber will inbound for the Deacons. Busick will bring the ball up the middle. He's going to give it over to Hakim. Hakim is going to throw it over to Busick. Busick up to Manuel. Manuel over to Hakim. Out to Busick. Busick's going to drive in. Back out to Manuel. Manuel over to Huber. Huber into Hakim. Hakim out to Mattern. Mattern's going to dribble in. Shot for two. No good. And it's going to be rebounded by a Bozier. And it's going to be a foul here on Hakim, I believe.
That's correct.
That'll be her first.
Not a lot of fouls tonight.
Yeah, not a lot of fouls tonight. Right, as Wagner's going to bring the ball up. She's going to throw it over to Nelson. Nelson's going to go back over to Wagner. Wagner is going to give it back to Nelson on the far side. Nelson's going to dribble in, back out to Wagner. Wagner for a deep three, rattles out. Rebound is going to be by Holston. Holston, a lot of contact. They're not going to call a foul. It will stay South basketball. They're going to call it out on Shanley.
Yeah, and I think right now South, their main thing that South needs to do is get to the hoop. Shooting for them has been, not quite working that well, but keep shooting though. As we can see right now,
Nelson with the deep three. I mean, that's keeping them alive. I think they got three about 4 feet behind the arc total.
Yeah, they've been shooting deep, and a few of them have been dropping.
Busick's going to throw it over Mattern. Mattern over to Hakim. Ball is going to go out on South, they're going to say. And Payne will check back in.
Manuel coming out for Mattern.
Payne's over to Busick. Busick back over to Payne. Payne for three from the corner. No good. It's going to be, they're going to say Mattern was not able to get it back in time, and so it will stay, or it will be South basketball, excuse me. And Shanley is going to take the press off now.
Which I don't know if that is the best idea currently. It's 17-11. I think if you give South a little bit of room to grow here, that they can come back and actually, oh, I see, right? They're pressuring the hoop. They're going down to the rim where they're supposed to go.
And there's going to be a foul on Mattern. That'll be her first. They're going to say it wasn't shooting, so Wagner will inbound for South. Ball's going to go, that's going to go into, I'm not sure who that is. Schroeder. Schroeder's going to go out to Bozier. Hey, she's going to take a Euro step. No good. They're going to call it jump ball, and it will stay South ball. All right now, underneath.
The rebounds need to be picked up by the Deacons. The opportunities that South is missing right now is all off rebounds. I think they gotten 4 or 5 rebounds already. And a steal there.
Payne for 2, no good. She's going to get her rebound, though. She's going to dribble it out. Payne for 3. It's good. Really nice shot by Payne as Wagner's going to bring the ball back up for South.
Misses the bunny, comes back out, and drains a 3.
You know, I mean, that's
Points
one way to do it. Yeah.
Points are points.
Schroeder's going to take the shot for 2. No good. Rebound Huber. Huber's going to bring the ball up the middle. She's going to throw it out to Mattern. Mattern over to Busick. Busick for 3. It's good. As the Deacons are putting on a little bit of a three-point shooting clinic. We could never shoot that good for sure.
Oh, no. That was a terrible shot back in the day when I played. Now, Busick, I believe that's her 3rd 3 of the day so far.
I believe
shooting very
so.
well from behind the arc and actually playing quite a good game on the defensive side as well, getting a few steals and rebounding. Riley Payne and Kate Busick are doing the best at rebounding currently.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that Shanley has to clean up, even if it's not just this game, because we agree that Shanley should win this game. But from this point on, they can't give up all these second chance points. This is going to kill them later if they keep doing this.
Yeah, and a lot of the missed opportunities in the beginning of the game. When you're playing basketball games, you're going to state EDC. Some of these games out of the gate are going to be, 1-2 point games. They're not going to be where you can miss that many shots initially.
Yep.
And South capitalized right away. South came out right away in the first 5 minutes. I said 5 minutes is key, and they won the first 5 minutes.
Yep.
I fully believe they did. They need to fix a little bit of things here, pressure to get down to the hoop a little more, kick the ball out, try to beat this zone that they're in, the Deacons. And that all involves passing the ball well and not taking rush shots.
As Payne's going to get the rebound and push the ball up, she's going to throw it ahead to Mattern. Mattern, shot is good, and the foul. She'll go to the line to shoot, to take a free throw. Yeah, a really nice pass by Payne there to get the ball up ahead of the defense, and Mattern with the very nice finish through contact there.
The one thing I've noticed a lot with the Deacons this year is how much they are rotating in a lot of younger players. We got Lydia Mattern, 10th grader. We have Kate Busick, who is a 10th grader. Okay? We have Sherma, who is a freshman, I believe.
Yep.
Currently on the floor, the oldest person out there is Natalie Heinrich and Riley Payne, 5 and 12, a senior and a junior.
Yeah, that's something that the Deacons have done a lot this year. And what I really like to see from the Deacons, they've played 10 players in this game already.
They have.
Last year, in a close game, 6 players maybe?
Yep.
7? I mean, they didn't play a lot of players.
They have a lot of depth this year, and it's going to be exciting to watch the next few years as we can see South here trying to make a run for the hoop.
Wagner's guarded by Payne. She's going to throw it over to Schroeder. Schroeder's going to give it up to Holston. Holston over to Wagner. Wagner's going to dribble in. Shot no good. Big block by Payne. They're going to say it was out on Shanley, but I think they're going to put 1 second on the shot clock right now. So if you're South, you got to catch this and you got to shoot it. I mean, you got 1 second as they're going to throw it in. Shot is up. That's going to be a shot clock violation there.
And Payne looks a little shaken up on that rebound. They might have got a knee to the knee.
As Huber will check in for her.
And Manuel checking in for Heinrich.
Musical inbound to Huber here.
Excuse me. Manuel subbing in for Matter.
Huber will bring the ball up the middle. Guarded by Holston. Huber throws it over to Heinrich. Heinrich over to Busick. Busick back over to Heinrich. Heinrich back up to Busick up top. She's going to dribble in. Over to Heinrich. Heinrich back. Busick's going to end up with it over to Shrema. Shrema for two. It's good.
Wow, contested shot. And she sinks it.
Heinrich's going to guard Wagner. Wagner's going to inbound to Nelson. Nelson is going to try and beat the trap. Busick's going to come up with the steal. As they're going to call a double dribble there. And it's going to be south ball. Oh, it just seemed a little amped up there, but...
Little eager to get rid of the ball. Sometimes the best time to do there is just to hold the ball and let everything relax.
Yep.
Have your players come down to the court. You have a little more backup. Good trap there.
Wagner's going to come out of that, and she's going to go through everybody with a she's going to throw a pass there. Ball's going to go back out to Nelson. Nelson all the way over to Wagner. Wagner for three. Good. She's kind of shooting the ball really well tonight as well.
Yeah, she's doing a fantastic job. And what I love about that play right there, she dribbled in and dished the ball down. She knew she wasn't going to be able to have the best shot, so she dished it around, dipped it around Sherma. And there was an open player down there, and then she came back around, kicked it out, and she shot from behind the arc and did a good job.
They're going to call a foul here. I believe they're going to call it on Huber, and that would be her second. Yep, Huber's second. Wagner will now inbound for South. She'll throw the ball into Holston. Holston's going to give it back to Wagner. Wagner is going to give it up, and it's going to go over to Schroeder. Schroeder back over to Wagner. And Manuel's going to get the steal, and it's kind of going to get thrown out of bounds, and I
think she was trying to rip the ball away because they're both holding it and just lost control of it.
They're going to stay. It's going to stay with South.
I believe that's the right call. It went off Manuel's hands. Mm-hmm. She ripped it away at first.
Yeah, it kind of looked that way. Tough call if you're Shanley, but that's the way it goes. This ball's going to be inbounded. And
stolen right back.
Is going to come up with the steal, hand it over to Busick. Busick's going to give it up to Huber. Huber for three. No good. Rebound, Heinrich. Heinrich's going to go over to Manuel. Manuel's going to give it into Shrema. Shrema, shot, no good, but she's going to be fouled and go to the line now. And she's really starting to kind of have a nice game for the Deacons.
She's been a really good off-the-bench player this year. She has been steady, calm, cool, and collected. Mm-hmm. She doesn't take rush shots, and when the shots she does take, she either gets fouled or she makes.
Yep, and she is playing really well. She's giving the Deacons just kind of, right as we say that. But those will happen. I mean, you just kind of take a deep breath now. And she's kind of been a little bit of a stark contrast from Mo Hakim. Hakim has been an absolute force on the defensive end.
Correct.
And Sherma has been a little bit more of the agile offensive kind of big man post.
Yep.
That we see. And I think that she'll find her role more as a little bit of an offensive player, where Hakim, she will be a defensive force for years to come.
And I agree with that. I think both of them, having them together on the same team for the next few years, is going to be scary to watch. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be something exciting to watch as well.
Wagner's going to get the ball at the top of the key. She's going to throw it over to Holston. Holston back up to Wagner. Wagner's going to give it back over to Holston on the left wing. Throw it over to Nelson. Nelson's going to dribble in. Shot for two. No good. Rebound, Holston. And it's going to end up in Schroeder, and she's going to miss the layup. Rebound, Huber. Huber's going to push the ball up the far side. Looks over, gives it to Chrisman. Chrisman going to give it out to Busick. Busick going to dribble in. Shot, layup for two. It's good.
There you go.
Didn't know if that one was going to go down, but
that's the ruck. You shoot, it goes in, it goes in. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Can't do much about it.
Wagner inbounds to Nelson. Nelson's going to have it poked away. There's going to be a little scuffle. Wagner's going to come up with it. And we're going to get a timeout by South. They were going to get a 10-second violation.
Yep.
And so they're going to take the timeout to save the possession now. Now, So what are both coaches going to be talking about in this timeout now as the game's changed a little bit?
The one thing I think Shanley needs to discuss more is just to play the game. You know, I don't think there's much coaching adjustments you need to make. Maybe a little bit, you know, go up a little more aggressive on the rebounds and be cautious of when you shoot a little more right now. Shoot some smarter shots. Now looking over on South Side, I think they need to get back down to the hoop some more. They need to be smarter in the passes they make, dribble with their head up a little more. Right now they're playing pretty good. They're making a few shots here and there, a few big shots. They haven't made a lot of shots, you know, within that 15, 16-foot mark. All of their shots have been behind the big arc. And they've been shooting quite well behind the arc like we discussed earlier. When they shoot behind the arc, they do well. I do think they need to get down there and get some more bunnies because they have opportunities to get them. Just put them in.
The one thing I will also say about South, though, is they just – it feels like a couple of possessions they're either not getting shots until too late in the shot clock and they're having to be forced, or they're not really getting shots off at all, whether it's steals or whatnot. If they can't have that happen, you need every chance you can get, no matter what.
I agree. They need every opportunity and all the time they can possibly have to use that shot clock. And Shanley is doing the exact opposite. Shooting when they have 18 left on the shot clock. You know, wear it down, go through the half, play some ball, and that just goes down to taking your time and playing the game.
Well, yeah, I mean, Shanley's kind of getting these steals that that South is kind of having a problem with. And so they're just kind of sprinting down the floor, and very quickly it's a quick shot right away.
Correct.
As Wagner will inbound, she'll inbound to Holston. Holston is going to give it back to Wagner. Wagner is going to get it up across half court. Her ball is going to go over to Nelson. And it's going to end up with Huber. Huber going to go in for the layup. She's going to be fouled, though. And she will go to the line to shoot 2 now. And, I mean, that's just kind of what we were just saying. I mean, you can't have these wasted possessions where you're not even getting a shot off.
Yeah, that's like what you just said with South. Utilizing what you have. They have the ability to get through. They can. They're trapping initially right away, which makes it hard to get that first pass. But once you get that first pass, you go right into that third pass, boom, you're good. You beat the zone, you beat the press.
Yeah, and they're just seeming to have a hard time getting settled. And that's something they have to work on.
And it's a hard atmosphere playing in McCormick Gymnasium. And I think that has to do with it. You're playing a team that, you know, you're a little bit nervous on the first hand to play with the record they've had this season, playing phenomenal. You just got to go in and be relaxed.
Carlson is going to throw it over to Nelson. Nelson for 3. No good. Rebound, Chrisman. Chrisman is going to give it up to Busick. Busick is going to keep it out and throw it over to Payne. Payne is going to get a screen. She's going to take a shot for 2. No good. Rebound, Chrisman. They're going to get Schroeder, I believe, on the foul. And Chrisman will go to the line to shoot 2.
The reason why Chrisman got that rebound is that when she set that screen, she rolled. A lot of times, sometimes you see in high school ball, these players lose the fundamentals of rolling even though they know they're not going to get the ball. Like Payne, she set the screen, she was wide open, she was going to pull up, but to still roll down and be ready for that second chance, which she did get the rebound, went up, and now she's shooting 2, 1 for 2. There you go. That's 1 point.
As Wagner will inbound for South. She's going to throw over to Nelson. Nelson is going to give it back to Wagner. Wagner is going to throw it up ahead to Carlson. Carlson is going to give it up to Schroeder. Schroeder up to Wagner at the top. She's going to hand it off to Carlson. Carlson is going to give it up to Wagner. It's going to get poked away by Payne. Payne is going to throw it ahead to Busick. Busick is going to throw it out to Payne. Payne for 3. No good. Payne's going to get her own rebound. And Crispin's going to get it. Let's go over to Busick. Busick is going to give it to Payne. Payne for 2. No good, but she's going to get her rebound now. Shot is no good, but there's going to be a foul here.
See, now going back to what we said earlier, I kept track there. Each one of those shots that they all took were within 24 seconds of the shot clock. I think they're a little quick. I think they need to go back out, run the offense, and get a smarter shot. Now, yes, she did get to the line. That's fantastic. She put 1 down now, 1 more, and it's 2 points still. But if you run your offense better, you can make more and be more efficient when you're out there playing on the offensive side.
As Payne will make the second. Remember at halftime, the boys football team will be displaying their championship banner, so be sure to stick around for that, as there's going to be a foul here on
Payne, I believe.
They're going to get, it looks like they're going to get South here, actually.
Plot twist. I thought for sure that was going to be on Payne for a block.
It looked like it, but they're going to go over to Busick. Busick over to Chrisman. Chrisman for 2. No good. They're going to get Chrisman there on the offensive. As Huber will check in for the Deacons.
And it appears Mattern is rotating in or checking in
Excuse
for
me.
Chrisman.
Wagner's set to inbound for South. South, as she will throw it into Schroeder. Schroeder looking for help, gets it up to Carlson. Carlson is going to bring it up, and ball's going to be stolen by Payne. Payne is going to get it up to Huber. Huber for 2. It's good.
Basket by Huber.
Now that's a good offensive play to drive in, kick out, come back down, up for a basket.
Really nice play there by the Deacons, as Carlson's going to get the ball, and she's going to try and beat everybody to the basket. Ball's going to get poked away, and Payne's going to come up with it. Payne with a 2-on-1, shot for 2. It's good.
O'Reilly Payne for 2.
Quick shot, but great shot. Watching live from Du Bois, Pennsylvania. Keep up the great work, guys, and thank you for doing what you do. We appreciate you, Payner66, for showing us the shout-out. We love it. Thank you very much for watching and tuning in tonight.
I will bet you that is assistant coach Dustin Payne, if I had to guess.
I would assume so. Thank you, Mr. Payne, for watching tonight. Your team is doing fantastic currently.
As Carlson gets ready to inbound for South. She's going to throw it into Nelson. Nelson is going to give her to Carlson. Carlson over to Wagner. Wagner back over to Carlson. Wagner on the near side. Carlson at the top. Over to Nelson. Nelson, it's going to end up with Wagner, or Carlson. Carlson for 3. Oh, rims out. But South is going to get it back, and I think this is going to go out of bounds on South now. And it'll be Deacon basketball with 1:45 left in the half.
But that was a good offensive play there by South. Going out there and playing the way they did. They got a good shot there at the end. Now, if they take that momentum going into the second half, because at the moment right now, there's 1:38 left on the clock. I think you let this half go and prepare for the next half. That's what I would do as a coach right now. Let the girls play out, go into half, make adjustments, and be ready to see what could happen.
Yeah, if you're South, I mean, you're trying to get to half and not let the bleeding get any worse. There's obviously you'd like a bucket here if you can't, but you really don't want this to get any worse now. So Carlson's going to bring it up and it's going to go over to Holston. Holston over to Wagner from the volleyball line. Shot's going to be no good, but it's going to go out on Hakim. As Carlson gets ready to inbound. Ball is going to be stolen by Payne. Payne is going to throw it over to Huber. Huber for 2. She's going to get blocked. As Carlson is going to, and Hakim is going to end up with the ball. Back out to Huber. Huber is going to throw it into Hakim. Hakim out to Chrisman. Chrisman shot. No good. Rebound Hakim. Hakim straight back up for 2.
Good play by Hakim there to get the steal initially, dish it back out to Huber. Huber dishes it to Crispin. Crispin shot missed. Grab by Hakim, up again for 2.
Good way of putting it, Haley.
A lot going on there, but it was a good play.
Busick's going to get the steal with about 50 seconds left in the half. She's going to bring it up. She's going to throw it out to Payne. Payne's going to dribble into Hakim. Hakim for 2, and the foul. And that is a really nice play by the Deacons there, as Hakim is going to go to the line for 1.
Yeah, and then her opportunity for a 3-point play, as we can see Huber there talking to her, letting her know, good job, get 3 points here.
That was a really nice play by the Deacons, and they are finishing this half really strong, which is something that you like to see.
They are.
As Hakim completes the 3-point play, as Wagner will inbound for South. Ball is going to go over to Abakar, or over to Holston, back up to Wagner. Wagner is going to go up to Holston. Holston is going to give it back to Wagner. Wagner's going to drive in. And she's going to throw up a little bit of an errant shot, and Payne's going to come up with the ball. Oh, she's going to throw it way ahead to Huber. Huber back over to Busick. Busick for 2. It's good.
Great play by Huber there to see that ball going out of bounds, to grab it, dish it back down real quick to Busick, who's been having a fantastic half along with Manuel.
Really nice passing there, as that's gonna send South to the line. That's gonna send Holston to the line to shoot the 1-and-1.
bonus.
Off the free throw line at number 5 is Sammy Hazel.
That's Payne's first on the night with about 13 seconds.
Quick miss there.
Huber's going to bring the ball up for the Deacons. They're probably going to hold it for one shot. Huber's going to get a screen from Crispin. Crispin's going to get the ball. Shot for two. It's good.
Good execution there by the Deacons.
All right, well, we'll be back after this. Please stick around, though, for the unveiling of the state championship banner.
47, Fargo South 16. Again, coming up at halftime here, we will be honoring your 2018 state champion Shanley Deacon football team. Tonight we would like to honor the Shanley Deacons 2018 2A football championship team who won the championship this past November at the Fargo Dome by defeating the Bismarck St. Mary's Saints by a score of 28-21 to capture the school's 19th all-time football state championship and the first since 2012. In addition to winning the state championship, the Deacons finished the season with an undefeated record of 11-0. The Deacons were led by a strong senior class and was extremely dedicated and determined to bring Shanley a state championship. The senior class had a combined record of 21-1 during their junior and senior years. Your captains for the football team this year were Caden Kuhneman, Kate Busick, Austin Manuel, and the 2A Senior Athlete of the Year, Haley Buckles. Other accomplishments for the football team, Austin Manuel, Kate Busick, and Haley Buckles have been selected to play in the North Dakota-Montana All-Star Game coming up in June, as well as your head coach, Troy Mattern, will be the head coach for the Mondat game. Joining him will be assistants Steve Huber and Wayne Sargent. I'd like to direct your attention to the north wall. And please join in giving a big round of applause as they unveil your championship banner. Your 2018 football state championship Shanley Deacons. Congratulations to all players, coaches, managers, parents, and cheerleaders, and our entire Shanley community on a successful season. Congratulations, gentlemen.
And we're back to high school girls basketball action. Well, we've got a new partner. I've got a new partner here. Jed Thomas will be filling in for Haley Buckles for the rest of the half. We'll see the new guy, see if he can do this. But
yeah, I don't know, Kate. I'm a little nervous.
yeah, but he's up to a little higher stuff now with Beck and whatnot. But
no, Cade, I'm excited to see the second half of this one. You know, obviously Shanley's got the commanding lead here. They're playing to expectations, which is exactly what they wanted to do. But Fargo South, you know, they always put an entertaining product down on the floor, and that's in large part thanks to Addie Wagner. I'm sure you were calling her name quite a bit in that first half, and I think everybody knows why. Pretty special player out there for the Bruins.
As she's going to get the steal and push the ball up the floor, and she's going to go through everybody, and she's going to they're going to actually say that was on the ground. But she's kind of been the bright spot for South. I mean, made some really deep threes, as that's kind of been South's forte. But no, they're going to say she is going to go to the line now, actually.
Yeah, Wagner most definitely shows some high-level skill, and that's been on display the last few years. She's only a freshman, but she's been playing the last couple of years for her varsity team. And it's pretty incredible what she can do as a freshman already. I would think it would make South's fan base pretty excited about what the future holds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this South team is pretty young as she goes 2 for 2 from the line. And then Huber's going to bring the ball up. Huber's going to go over to Chrisman. Chrisman up to Busick. Busick's going to go out to Payne. Payne is going to dribble in and kick it out to Busick. Busick for 3. It's good. And she's having a really nice night herself. I think she's got about 14 points now and a few steals to go along with that.
Yeah, she has had a very nice night, doing a really good job just finishing. And this whole Shanley team, it's been a great night for them. They're coming off that win against Cheyenne, now a dominant performance here at home. These are 2 very good games to come back from a tough loss on the road to Davies. I think a loss that definitely stung quite a bit for them coming against a pretty big rival.
Yeah, I mean, that Davies game, they were more or less expecting to win that game, and they felt like they were the better team and just didn't play up to expectations. I know Catherine Busick, she went to the gym after the game. She was so upset, but
yeah, I mean, just not the performance I think they wanted. They shot 24% from the floor in that game, but certainly they've looked a lot more accurate and a lot more efficient in these following games.
Mm-hmm. And that's really good to see. I mean, they've played well, especially coming off the game yesterday. You always kind of worry about that the day after a game. As Wagner's going to inbound for South. Ball is going to go up to Beaucier. Out to Nelson. Nelson's going to dribble in. She's going to take a shot for 2. No good. And they're going to say it was tipped, and it'll stay with South. Carlson will inbound for South. As she's going to throw it up, and it's going to be stolen by Busick. Busick is going to get back a hold of it and throw it over to Manuel. Manuel is going to give it up to Busick. Busick's going to dribble in and give it up to Huber. Going to get mishandled, and Payne's going to come up with the ball. She's going to throw it over to Manuel. Manuel for 3. No good. It's going to be rebounded by Carlson. It's going to be stolen by Manuel. Manuel back over to Busick. Busick is going to get fouled, and the Deacons will now get the ball underneath.
Falls number 42, Maggie Basie. Second personal foul, first team foul.
Huber will inbound for the Deacons. She's going to throw over to Busick. Busick for 3. Drilled it.
Yeah, that's way too open for Kate Busick. Pretty good three-point shooter when the balls are contested, and when you leave her that wide open, that's pretty much automatic.
Yeah, that was a really nice shot. I mean, I could never shoot that way, and that was just, that's what you're supposed to do. As Nelson's going to get the ball, she's going to give it over to Carlson. Carlson is going to throw it over to Wagner. Wagner is going to try and dribble in. She's going to give it out to Nelson. Nelson is going to get swatted by Payne. That was a nice play by Payne. She timed that up just right.
Yeah, and Riley Payne, I mean, not much more you can say there. Don't know how we've gone this far into the second half without really highlighting her yet, because obviously everybody knows what she brings to the table, and that is a little bit of everything. And she does a little bit of everything, not just well, but exceptionally well. Great scorer, great rebounder, great defense, as you saw there. Excellent playmaker. Riley Payne has been just a force for Shanley this season.
She's been their best player this year, and she's come through when they needed them. As Carlson's going to take the 3. No good. And it's going to be rebounded by Busick. As a South player lost the shoe, Busick is going to push the ball up to Huber. Huber is
He's going to dribble over to the near side, over to Payne. Payne is going to throw it all the way across to Busick. Busick feeling it tonight for 3.
Red hot, Cade, I would say. I mean, she is on fire at the moment from beyond the arc.
She is just having maybe her best game of the year here as, I mean, this team is just playing really well tonight. And, I mean, ever since that Davies game, they've just kind of got it all together and played really well. As Payne's going to get the rebound. She'll throw it into Huber. Huber over to Manuel. Manuel up to Payne. Payne for 3. No good. Crispin's going to keep it in and throw it over to Busick. Busick's going to give it out to Huber. Huber is going to take a step in and take the 2-pointer. Shot no good. Rebound Wagner. Wagner is going to go into a 2-on-1. She's going to go through it, and she's going to get the and one here. A really nice play there to get between the two Shanley defenders for the bucket.
And, Addie Wagner, she knows that's what she has to do. Not getting a ton of help right now. Shanley's doing a really good job shutting down her whole team. She knows she's just going to have to start making plays on her own, and those are the sorts of plays you got to make. When you know that burden falls on your shoulders, you got to step up, and Addie Wagner, to her credit, she rarely fails to do so, always doing her best to try and will this Bruins team to victory.
Yeah, I think she actually started as a 7th grader, and she's just been fun to watch for South right now. As Huber's going to bring the ball over to the near side, over to Busick. Busick is going to dribble it up to the top and over to Crispin. Crispin is going to give it up to Busick. Busick is going to give it over to Manuel. Manuel back over to Busick. Busick's going to throw it over to Manuel. Manuel for 2. No good. And they're going to call a foul on Crispin there. That'll be her second. And the Deacons already have 5 team fouls in the half, only about 4 minutes in.
And right now, Cade, what I'm noticing is that the Bruins are doing a really good job defending inside. They're keeping the paint clean. Unfortunate turnover here leaves the paint wide open, but to this point in the second half, they've been doing a much better job at defending inside and making Shanley pull up from further out, take some shots from outside. Now, unfortunately for them, Shanley's really found their touch out there, but I do think South's made some good adjustments inside.
As Wagner's going to get the ball, she's going to throw it into Schroeder. Schroeder for 2. That's good.
And not just defensive adjustments, clearly, as they're doing a better job penetrating there with Schroeder getting the basket in the paint.
Manuel will make about the 18-footer, and that'll put the Deacons up to 60 for the game. As Carlson will bring the ball up for South. She'll throw over to Wagner. Wagner is going to dribble in. She's going to take a little shot, and I don't know how she made that.
Yeah, Kate, that did not look very fun. I could hear that up here, and wow, for everything we've said about Addie Wagner, let's add toughness to the list, because, yeah, that was pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, that one
didn't look very fun.
That was impressive, I'll just say that, as Wagner's going to bring the ball up for South. She's going to go through everybody again. Shot for 2. It's going to fall. And she's going on a little bit of a run here right by herself.
She's always been so good at penetrating and going coast to coast like that. Where she runs into problems is finishing, as it looks like Shanley will take a timeout here. But yeah, Cade, what I've noticed watching her over the years is that sometimes she just doesn't have that touch inside, and she'll make a lot of those plays and just be unable to finish. That time and the last couple times she has found that touch. And again, if you got to remember she's only a freshman. The fact that she can already make that kind of penetration, cut through the defense like that, that touch will come, and it already is starting to, as you can see. So the pieces are there for Wagner to continue to be an excellent slashing type of guard.
Yeah, she's doing really well, and she's improved immensely over the last couple of years. And Shanley, I mean, they just had to take the timeout to kind of, I don't want to say it's a yell-at-you timeout, but it's kind of a timeout where, come on, this is what we got to do. Let's get it done. As Busick will inbound for the Deacons. Busick inbounds to Huber. Huber is going to dribble to the near side. She's going to throw it all the way over to Manuel. Manuel is going to give it up to Busick. Busick's over to Manuel. Manuel into Crispin. Crispin back over to Payne on the near side. Payne for 3. No good. Rebound's going to, Crispin's going to come up with it. Out to Payne. Payne's going to dribble a baseline and kick it out to Busick. Busick's going over to Huber. Huber is going
going to throw it into Chrisman. Chrisman is going to miss the shot, and it's going to be Schroeder is going to end up with the rebound after all of that. Ball got taken away from a couple of players there, and Schroeder's going to get the ball. Well, she's going to give it up, and it's going to go up ahead to Osborne. Osborne's going to go over to to Green, excuse me. Over to Holston. Holston is going to go over to Green. And Payne's going to get the steal there. She's going to throw it way ahead to Huber. Huber's going to give it into Chrisman. Chrisman up. And she's going to get blocked there by Abakar. A really nice block.
Yeah, and again, Cade, that's just more of South's adjustments that they've made inside. Again, there you see they're doing a better job sticking with Chrisman as Mattern was left open there, but they're doing a better job sticking with Chrisman and shutting down inside, not giving them Shanley as many holes there to work with.
As it's going to be, they're going to call a foul on Huber there, or excuse me, yes, Huber there. And it's going to be South ball under their own basket. That's Huber's fourth already in the game. She's going to have to watch that.
And that's not common for her to be at 4 already. Rarely even gets close to that number. Just such a veteran of this team, such an efficient player, so just a surprising number.
As the ball is going to be out and it's going to get thrown over to Green. Green is going to give it over to Abakar. Abakar is going to throw it over to Holston. Holston is going to dribble in. Shot up, no good. Rebound is going to be by Abakar. Abakar, it's going to be taken by Shrema. Shrema, I think, yeah, they did call a foul there. And it will be Deacons' ball after that. And it's going to be a full timeout here by the Bruins now. Now, Jid, what do you think the Bruins or both teams here are going to be talking about during this timeout?
Well, I think both teams are going to have similar messages, as neither one has been able to finish for quite a while. You know, since those last couple of buckets by Addie Wagner, there's been very little in the way of offense. Both teams have gotten some shots up. Shanley has gotten a lot of shots up. They've gotten a lot of offensive boards, but they just can't get it in. And so I think both teams are probably just going to try to use this timeout as a bit of a reset button to maybe get a fresh state of mind and try and just go back here to some more fundamental shots, try and maybe look for some easier shots to get back in the groove. Because South, you know, as the team that's trailing here, that you got to be happy that you've been holding Shanley, but you also need to be getting points to try and close the gap, which obviously they haven't been able to do. So I think it's similar messages for both teams, though.
Yeah, that would sound probably about right. They actually have cut the lead a few points from the half, but not nearly enough that this game is where they want it to be. I mean, they've still got plenty of time to close this gap up, but this Shanley team, if the message from Shanley has to be, let's get back in and play some offense now, as Payne's going to dribble it in and throw it out to Busick. Busick over to Heinrich. Heinrich is going to dribble in, and it's going to be, I'm going to call it jump ball. And it's going to be South ball on the side. Wagner is going to inbound to Green here. Green will bring the ball up. She's going to throw over to Wagner. Wagner is going to dribble in. She's going to go back over to Green. Green's going to go into Abakar. Abakar is going to dribble in. Shot for 2. They're going to get her with a charge there.
Offensive foul, number 15, Abakar.
That'll be her first personal. South's third of the game. As Busick will bring the ball up for the Deacons. She's going to throw it underneath Payne. Payne for 2, no good, and they're going to get it Shrema for an over the back there. And South will be in bonus for the rest of the game now. They'll be shooting 1-1 right now.
And Cade, one thing I'm noticing is that South is really giving Shanley a lot of space to the sides of the basket, about 5 or 6 feet away on the sides. But it's smart because I think they've realized Shanley's not hitting any of those shots from fairly close range. You know, they're these short-range twos that Shanley can't convert on. And I think South has realized that, and they're kind of daring them to take those shots while they're just going to defend Shanley's more efficient shooting areas. And that's a really smart adjustment here by the Bruins in the second half. I think it's part of the reason why they've been able to limit Shanley's scoring here.
As South is going to get the offensive rebound, that's going to be Schroeder who gets the rebound. She's going to now steal the ball from that pile and make the layup for 2 as South has now cut the lead to 30. Busick's going to dribble the ball up, throw it over to Mattern. Mattern is going to dribble in. Wagner's going to steal the ball. She's going to take it all the way, shot for 2, and it's good. And I believe South has gone on about a 9 or 10-0 run right now. As Busick's going to throw it over to Heinrich. Heinrich. Let's go over to Busick. Busick. Let's go over to Payne. Payne's going to dribble baseline, near side, shot for 2. Hit the top of the backboard. It's going to go. Heinrich's going to come up with the rebound. Mattern is going to go over to Busick. Busick's going to dribble in and over to Payne. Payne's going to go baseline again. Shot no good. Wagner's going to get the rebound, and she's going to push the ball up the far side. Wagner's going to go all the way like she's done, and she's going to make it with the and one now.
You know, Cade, Shanley had such a dominant first half. They built up such a lead. Obviously, they're still in great shape here in the second half because of that, but they have not played a winning brand of basketball for the majority of this second half, and I think that's something that's going to very much get under their skin, especially under the skin of the coaching staff. Excuse me, as this is just not at all what you want. You really want this game. We've talked about that loss to Davies. We talked about the comeback win, the win versus Cheyenne to get back on track. This is just another game to get your confidence back and get it back on track. You want to be going for a blowout here. You want to win by a large margin to rebuild that confidence. You don't want to let a team back in the second half with points here.
Yeah, it had been, I think, about 5 minutes since Shanley had scored, so that bucket's really nice as the ball is somehow going to get caught by Osborne. Wagner's going to end up with it, and Schroeder's going to go up, and nobody rebounded that ball, and it's going to go out of bounds on Shanley. It'll be south ball underneath as Green will inbound. Green looking for someone. She's going to go over to Wagner. Wagner on the far side is going to try and go all the way over to Schroeder. Schroeder up for 2. She's going to get fouled and go to the line to shoot 2 now.
Here's the other aspect of this game, Cade. Shanley probably wanted to get some of their starters out of here a little early. You know, it's a long week for them. They had a game Friday, a game Monday, a game today, and then they have a game on Thursday. So that's a lot of games in a short span of time. You're going to be putting a lot of wear and tear on your starters. They were probably hoping to get up by a large enough margin where they could take some of those girls out. Now, I know they are up by quite a bit, but there's still 9 minutes to go. They've allowed South a little room back into this, and so they're probably a little upset about that, as, again, it's a long week for them.
Yeah, I mean, that's 4 games in 7 days. I mean, I don't think they'll do that again with the exception of maybe State and EDC.
Absolutely.
Only time they'll have those kind of runs. So you want to get these guys out so that way they can just, or these girls out so that way they can get the rest and start thinking about their next game. But first they got to do their job tonight in order for that to happen. I mean, no two ways about it. As it's going over to Payne. Payne for 3. It's good.
That was a high arcing shot from Riley Payne, but deadly accurate too.
Yeah, that was a really nice shot for Payne. She's now scored 5 in a row for the Deacons and kind of done what they've been needing. They're going to get a traveling there on Osborne. And it'll be Deacon basketball after the violation. Busick is going to bring the ball up for the Deacons. She's going to give it to Shrema. Ball's going to go over to Payne. Payne out to Huber. Huber's going to take a dribble in and throw it over to Busick. Busick is going to go over to Hakim. Hakim for 2. No good, but she was fouled, and she'll go to the line now to shoot 2. And she's really improved her free throw shooting for the Deacons this year. It's been really helpful for them. And she just needs to be a force if they want to continue to be successful through EDC and State.
Yeah, I mean, her free throw shooting, I think, is just one of many areas she's improved quite a bit. I mean, Mo Hakeem has, coming into the year, I think Shanley knew they needed that post player with the loss of Sierra Berg. They'd had a long tradition of some pretty dominant post players with Berg and Emily Dietz, and they didn't really have anyone inside this year that they were going to count on to be their one girl in particular inside. And I think Mo Hakeem has really come into that role. She's just become so good in so many different areas, and not only, Kate, is she getting better at the line, but she's getting there far more often than she was or any of the other girls on this team are.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about those post players that Shanley needs, the other one who's really kind of starting to step up has been the freshman, then Shrema. She's starting to step into her role, and then along with the junior Chrisman, who has done a really good job for the Deacons and kind of been a steadying force there, whereas the other two have kind of come in and out a little bit. As Wagner's going to bring the ball up, she's going to go through everybody, throw it off the backboard. Hakim is going to get the rebound and throw it ahead to Payne. Payne is going to take it all the way herself, and it's going to fall. Wagner's going to bring the ball up. She's going to throw it over to Green. Green's going to go back to Wagner. Wagner is going to give it over to Green on the near side, then up to Abakar. Abakar is going to dribble in. No good, but she's fouled. She's going to go to the line now. And now if you're the Deacons, this is something that you kind of just want to watch. You got 10 fouls already. This is something, maybe it's not going to have the biggest effect on this game, but you need to slow down.
Absolutely, Kate. The foul trouble is concerning. Like you said, even if it's not concerning for tonight, which, it is, but I agree with what you're saying there. It's more concerning down the road. Are you going to do this in other games? Are you going to do this in closer games? Are you going to do this at state, Mm-hmm. You can't be getting so many fouls in the second half so early. And it's especially a little concerning just because they haven't really had this issue a lot this season. So you hope that it's an isolated incident. And that's probably something the coaches are going to be working on after this game.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the one thing that me and Haley talked about, Shanley is playing more players this year. I mean, in the runs to state, when they had their 70-0 run, it felt like sometimes they would play 5 players the entire game. They'd play about 6 or 7, but today they're getting up to 9, which is a really good thing for the Deacons to expand their bench and just have more options when fouling and if it becomes a problem. As Hakim will make the bucket, and Green will bring the ball up for the Deacons. The Bruins. Wagner's going to go over to Green, back over to Wagner. Wagner looked to shoot from the volleyball line again. As the ball's going to go over to Green. Green for 3. No good. Rebound by Schroeder, I believe. As Payne is going to push the ball up. Shot for 2. It's no good. But Payne will be going to the line for 2.
Falls on number 11, Laura Green. First personal. Riley Payne at the free throw line.
And we see the warm-ups have come off for the Deacons, so I think we're going to start to see the substitutions start coming along for those starters as the lead's been pushed back out over 35 again.
Yeah, and again, that's just critical for this stretch here to get some of those starters off to lighten the workload because, like we talked about, they've just been very taxed the last week.
Mm-hmm. As Wilson checked in for the Deacons, Payne makes the second, and I think that's going to be the end of her night as McAllister checks in for her. McAllister, another freshman that the Deacons are playing now. As Wagner will bring the ball up for the Bruins. She'll go over to Holston. Over to Wagner. Wagner from the volleyball line. No good. It's going to be rebounded by Holston. Holston's back out to Wagner. Wagner guarded by Wilson. Over to Holston. Holston over to Wagner. In and it's going to be Hakim is going to come up with the ball. Ball's going to go over to Huber. Huber is going to give it over to Heinrich. Heinrich back up to Huber at the top. She's going to throw it into Hakim. And it's going to go out of bounds on the Deacons. It will be South basketball now. As Bars will check in for Huber. Wagner is going to bring the ball up for the Bruins. It's going to go over to Schroeder. Schroeder's going to go back to Wagner. Wagner over to Holston. Holston and over to Osborne. Bozier. Hey, rebound McAllister. McAllister over to Wilson. Wilson's going to bring the ball up the far side.
Over to Bars. Bars throws it into Hakim. Out to McAllister. McAllister for three. No good. Rebound Hakim. Hakim is going to go back out to McAllister. Over to Heinrich. Heinrich is going to go over to Bars. Bars is going to give it and swing it over. It's going to get swung over to Heinrich. Heinrich's going to try and go baseline. She's going to give it up to Hakim. Hakim over to Heinrich. Over up into Hakim. Hakim. Oh, in and out. And Wilson's going to take the shot for two. Who, as Schroeder will come down with the rebound. And Wagner will push the ball ahead for the Bruins. Wagner is going to give it up to Holston. Holston over to Wagner. Wagner over to Holston into Abakar. Abakar for two. No good. Rebound Heinrich. Heinrich up ahead to Bars. Bars is going to bring the ball up. And she's going to throw it over to Wilson. Wilson for three. No good. And Bars is... it's going to be a little bit of a... Ball is still loose. And Schroeder ended up coming away with that after about a minute.
Yeah, Kate, I have no idea how to summarize that last 20 seconds there. Bit of a scramble down low, but South capitalizes there with the bucket.
Yeah, that was... You don't see that in basketball a lot. That looked like a fumble that couldn't be recovered. As Bars is going to give over to McAllister. McAllister is going to go over to Wilson. Wilson up to Bars. Bars over to Heinrich. Heinrich is going to throw over to Hakim. Hakim for two. It's good. And she's pieced together a really nice night for herself. As Wagner will bring the ball up for the Bruins. She'll throw it over to Holston. Holston, it's going to go over to Obise. Hey, over to Schroeder. Schroeder. It's going to go over to Holston. Holston over to Wagner. Wagner from the volleyball line again. No good as Heinrich's going to throw the ball out to Bars. Bars is going to throw it ahead to McAllister. Wagner's going to get the steal, and she's got all by herself for the two.
And if there's an underrated part of Wagner's game, it's her athleticism. As you saw there, she did a great job just accelerating away from everybody. A great job pulling away from all of Shanley's defenders and even her own team. She was all alone running down there.
Shanley will call a timeout, but they're just going to do a couple quick substitution here as they get the rest of the players off the bench into the game. And I believe everybody now has played for the Shanley Deacons. Except one, I believe. Bars will inbound for the Deacons. She's going to throw it into Hodel. Hodel over to McAllister. McAllister. It's going to get punched away by Bozier, and it's going to stay Deacon basketball on the side. Ball is going to be thrown into McAllister. McAllister is going to give it in to Hodel. Hodel out to Wilson. Wilson over to Dabbert. Dabbert out to Hodel. Hodel is going to drive on the left side. Right. She's going to go over to Dabbert. Dabbert throws it into McAllister. McAllister is going to get blocked, and it's going to go out. No, it's going to stay in as Wagner is going to come away with the ball. Over to Holston. Holston. Let's go out to Nelson. Nelson over to Wagner. Wagner is going to throw over to Holston on the far side. Up to Nelson at the top of the key. Over to Bozier. Hey, over to Wagner. Wagner is going to go to Holston. Holston up to Wagner. Wagner from deep. No good as the shot clock was expiring. It's going to be rebounded there by Schroeder. Schroeder for two. No good. And it's going to be rebounded by Holston. Holston over to Bozier. Shot is good for two.
That's really nice work by South there, Kate. That's a lot of what we've seen from Shanley in the second half, just refusing to give up on the offensive rebounds.
There was a lot of fight there by South, a lot of scrapping. I mean, they just didn't give up on that possession there. As Schroeder will again get a block, as Wagner will bring the ball up for the Bruins. Wagner over to Nelson. Nelson back over to Wagner. Wagner's going to give up to Holston. Holston is going to give to Wagner. Wagner surveying, goes over to Holston on the far side. Back up to Wagner. Wagner over to Nelson, and she'll bring it back over to the far side.
Wagner's going to go to Nelson with 3 on the shot clock. 2. They're going to say she didn't get the shot off. And it's going to be a shot clock violation on the Bruins. Bird will check in for the Deacons. As Hodel will bring the ball up for the Deacons. She's going to get a screen from Bird. Over to Bars. Bars over to Bird. Bird up to McAllister. Over to Hodel. Hodel over to Wilson. Wilson up to Bars at the top. Into Bird. Bird over to Hodel. Hodel over to McAllister. McAllister for 3. No good. Rebound Wilson. Wilson into Bird. Bird out to Hodel. Hodel back over to McAllister. McAllister's up to Bars. Bars dribbles right side. Shot no good. Rebound Bozier. Holston's going to give it up to Nelson at the top. Over to Wagner. Wagner's going to give it up to Nelson. Nelson up to Holston. Holston back over to Nelson. Over to Wagner. Wagner for 3. Rims out. And McAllister's going to get the rebound. Ball is going to be thrown up ahead to Hodel. Hodel is going to give it up to McAllister. McAllister is going to go over to Wilson. And up to Bars. Over to Hodel as the Deacons will dribble out the remainder of the clock. And the Deacons, after a little bit of a shaky start to that second half, are going to come out of here with a pretty convincing win, and they got to feel really confident going into their game against North on Thursday.
Yeah, it's a really nice game for them. Really only 8, maybe 10 minutes of basketball that they want back, but even during that stretch, it was very competitive. The rest of the game, though, they were playing some of their best basketball, and at the right time, too. We've talked about that Davies element a lot coming back from that loss. I think they've got to be feeling pretty good now. Getting these 2 back-to-back wins here, and with another game Thursday, obviously a little bit of fatigue, but that's a little easier to withstand when you've been getting wins in that stretch as opposed to losses. It's a big part of keeping that fatigue off. A win is a lot less tiring than a loss, that's for sure.
That's for sure. And if you're Shanley, you're just trying to clinch that number 2 seed. I don't think anybody's going to catch Devil's Lake. I don't know if anybody's been within 10 points of them all year. But this Shanley team, you want to clinch that 2 seed. You want to give yourself the best position possible to try and be in a good position at state, because you don't want to face Century and a couple of other big schools out there. So you are just trying to, this is another check off the box to get you closer to EDC now. Well, come back in a few minutes for the boys' game. Thank you for joining us tonight.
And yeah, we'll get you on the boys' game in about 20 minutes or so. It'll be myself and Andy Simon. So, Cade, thanks a lot for being here with the girls' game. Glad I could join you for the second half. But yeah, in about 20 minutes or so, me and Andy Simon got the call for what should be a fantastic game. Stick around, folks.
another guard for the Deacons, a 5'10" senior number 12, Brayden Bars. And another guard for the Bruins, a 6-foot sophomore number 10, Silvana Enoch. And another guard for the Deacons, a 6'2" junior number 20, Owen Mears. And another guard for the Bruins, a 5'6" junior number 11, Josiah.
Good evening, folks, and welcome back to Shanley TV's coverage of tonight's doubleheader basketball action as the Shanley Deacons are getting ready to take on the Fargo South Bruins. Now the Lady Deacons and the Lady Bruins battled it out a few minutes ago, and it was Shanley who came away with a convincing victory. A big-time win for them, their second in a row. But this boys' game, Andy, this is anyone's game. When these two teams play, it's usually fireworks. There have been a lot of crazy finishes between these two squads in the last year, and to be honest, I'm expecting more of the same here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. Shanley has a lot of talent. They're pretty good on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. And South, they're great on offense. Not as prolific on their defense, but still very solid. So yeah, I definitely think we're gonna have a good game tonight.
And you know, both teams have had their fair share of struggles with discipline, playing clean games. You know, they've had issues with foul trouble, but it's been in spurts. You know, they've got games where it's a big issue. They've got games where they keep it clean. It's all about consistency between these two teams, and that's why when they play, it's so interesting because they have they're such different teams stylistically, but at the same time, they have many of the same issues. So it should be fun to see as we get this one underway as Daniel Warner will tip that ball forward, trying to get it to Brayden DeKaiser, but instead into the arms of Enoch. So to start, it's Danny Lahai out at the top of the key. Owen Mears across from him. Lahai with the great head fake, cuts inside, goes up for two, doesn't fall, and Owen Mears is there to get the rebound. Mears will go down court now, finding Brayden DeKaiser. DeKaiser going to cut inside, finding space, throws one up off the glass, does not go. Daniel Warner, however, is there for the putback. A 2-0 lead to start here early for Shanley. Kier Mabor out top. He goes over to Lahai. Lahai will cut inside, finds his way in. Multiple hands inside for Shanley, reaching for that ball, and someone's going to get a foul there. So Owen Mears is the guilty party on that one. With a quick break in play, we do want to give a shout-out to Shanley teacher Mrs. Backlund watching. Mrs. Backlund, thank you for tuning in. As now, out top, it's taken by Enoch. Enoch now inside to Mabor. Mabor going up, and he is swatted by Daniel Warner. Enoch is there to corral it, however, and he swings it around to Brijlal. Quick pass inside, intended to go back to Brijlal, doesn't find its way there. DeKaiser now gets it over to Mears. Mears with the great step back inside, and now in the corner, it's Hoffer. Hoffer across to DeKaiser. DeKaiser in the paint, kicks it back out to Bars. Bars slashes looking for two, and he gets it. Lahai comes across half court with it now as the Bruins trail by 4. Oh, what a move to get separation, but he cannot get the shot to fall. And then a collision there between Bars and Mata. Sends that ball out of bounds. Last touch by the Deacons. Brijlal inbounds to Enoch. Enoch now over to Lahai. Lahai with Mears across from him. He'll go back to Brijlal out top. Brijlal gets the screen, steps back. Here's a deep three. High arcing shot, and it's in for South's first points of the evening. Deacons now lead by 1, up 4-3. Talon Hoffer. He is in many ways the leader of this team. He will have to have a big night here tonight. Brayden Bars on the right wing. He goes into Hoffer, driving forward, had that one knocked away by Mabor. Daniel Warner looking for two. Mabor goes up to contest. The shot was short, and Mabor comes back down with it. Mabor tripped up himself with that move, and now it's a loose ball scooped up by Bars. Bars coming down. Great move to get around Lahai. That might have been a travel. South wants the call, but they do not get it as Owen Mears is back there disrupting on defense. Here's Mata inbounding now to Lahai. Danny Lahai working against Owen Mears. Hoffer comes over to help out. Lahai finds space up the left side. Excellent pass, able to find Brijlal. And now out top, Enoch will take the three. It doesn't go. Rebound corralled by Mata. Could not get the shot to go, but the foul is called. So he'll go to the line shooting 2.
Fouls on number 12, Brayton Bars. First personal.
Folks, don't forget tomorrow we have a special presentation for you as Shanley TV will be broadcasting live from this gymnasium the State Know Your Faith competition, the annual competition between area Catholic schools to see which school best knows their Catholic faith. That will be at 11 a.m. tomorrow, so be sure to tune in. Here's Mata on his second attempt. And that one is good. So 6-5 now. Shanley still leads by 1. DeKaiser goes over to Hoffer. Talon Hoffer with tight defense being played by Brijlal. He gets tripped up. Hoffer in trouble. He signaled for a timeout there. I believe Coach Burns did as well. And that's a smart move as Hoffer was in trouble. But Andy, we're only a few minutes in here. It's a 6-5 game in favor of Shanley. Not a lot to go off of, but your early impressions.
Well, I think Shanley so far, they've been doing a great job of capitalizing on a couple of the turnovers that have been given to them. And I think if they can keep that up for the rest of this game, then they'll do great on scoring. And South, they're going to have to, kind of lay off on some of the fouls and maybe some of the other turnovers that they've been doing so far. And if they can capitalize on Shanley's turnovers and hopefully cut down on their own turnovers, then I think it'll be very close and maybe even come down to the wire.
Certainly, Andy, I think turnovers are going to play a major role in this game. We already talked about how both these teams have some troubles with those mental types of errors, with that sloppy style of play. And I wholeheartedly agree, whichever team can get that under control first and can capitalize on the other teams should come out ahead, you would think. So here's Owen Mears. He's got Brijlal across from him. Mears makes a move at half court, trying to get separation, and now he'll go to Bars on the far side. Bars could not corral it. Taken away by Enoch, now up to Brijlal. Brijlal along the far side. He goes out top to Mabor, back to Brijlal, now out top to Lahai. Danny Lahai at the top of the key, making a lot of moves, barely that time able to find Mata. Now the shot for 3 is no good off the rim, and then it goes out of bounds as it hit the wiring above the basket. Inbound from DeKaiser to Hoffer. Hoffer goes back to DeKaiser, who goes straight back to Hoffer. Talon Hoffer coming down the court, makes a move, but then lost the ball, had it taken away by Mabor. Here's Lahai now for 3, off the rim, could not get it. Talon Hoffer elevates to get the board. Coming back down, it's DeKaiser. Shanley had the 5-on-4 there. South able to get men back, though, to even things up. And a jump ball is called as Daniel Wanner and Kier Mabor fought for that one.
Checking in for the Deacons, number 50, Isaac Clayway. From the Bruins, number 23, DJ Rainey.
Clava and Rainey check in for their respective teams as this ball is going to go out of bounds, last touched by Shanley. And no doubt that Clava and Rainey, those are strategic moves as both are fairly strong players inside. They do a good job moving people around in the interior. They'll likely see a lot of each other in the paint. Mabor in a tough spot, got it over to Brijlal. Hoffer knocked that one away. Brijlal in trouble, 2 men on him. And they'll say he stepped out of bounds before he got rid of that ball. Fantastic defense from the Deacons. Clava looking for a man to get it to. Finally finds DeKaiser. DeKaiser now crosses half court. Lahai right on top of him. Low pass over to Clava. Now to Mears out top, and Mears across to Hoffer. Here's DeKaiser at the top of the key. Had that one knocked away. Lahai, great disruption on defense. Coming back down with it. Danny Lahai, the steal and the bucket. Braden DeKaiser now goes over to Hoffer. The press is on tight here as the Deacons are able to escape. DeKaiser coming in, finds Clava, and there's a quick 2 for Shanley to go back on top. Back and forth they go now as Lahai comes down and goes to Brijlal. Brijlal inside to Rainey, back out to Lahai. Deep 3, heavily contested, in and out. And then that ball's knocked away and picked up by Owen Mears. Owen Mears off his back over to Hoffer. And now Talon Hoffer will come across half court. Here's Isaac Kleva. Series of handoffs here for the Deacons, and then the fake to DeKaiser as Mears kicks it out to Hoffer. Hoffer for three off the rim. Rainey gets the board. Collision there with two Deacons, and he goes down hard out of bounds. And right now, neither team shooting very well from outside. Rainey goes to Bregelal, then straight back to Rainey. Good passing here from the Bruins as Mabor goes up for two and the foul.
Falls on number 44, Daniel Warner, first personal, 13 foul.
Daniel Warner picking up his first there, and Andy, there's a guy who Shanley is going to need to stay out of foul trouble. He's found himself there before, but certainly Warner is going to need to try and stay clean here to play some tight defense on some of these taller players for Fargo South.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Daniel Warner plays a crucial role, being the big guy he is down in the paint. Can always put up an easy 2 points and play some great defense there, too.
There's a nice pass from Kleva to get out of trouble, but then DeKaiser has it taken away. Bruins coming back down with it. Enoch able to find Bregelal. Now Bregelal steps back to catch his breath. Slow things down a bit. Mabor fakes right. Mears stayed with him the whole time. Now out top, it's Sabasic. Sabasic generates a little space. Mears was all over him. Loose ball tipped up multiple times. Sabasic found it deep three, and that one's not on target from Josiah Bregelal.
Checking in for the Deacons, number 12, Braden Bars. Back in for the Bruins, number 3, Danny Lahai.
Couple of starting guards back in for both teams. Bars for the Deacons and Lahai for the Bruins. Mata will also come back in. So here's the inbound to Mears, straight back to Kleva, and then back to Mears as Shanley breaks the press. Hoffer inside, kicks it out to Kenny. Kenny for three, in and out. Board grabbed by Hoffer. He couldn't get the basket to go, but he does get the foul.
Fouls on number 5, Kier Mabor. First personal, first team foul. Talon Hoffer at the free throw line.
So here's Hoffer at the line as the foul is called on Mabor. Number 1 no good for Hoffer, but attempt number 2 is good. Rainey gives it off to Lahai, and Danny Lahai coming down with a head of steam. Double team on him, in trouble. Great job getting it away to Mabor. Kier Mabor drives along the baseline. Oh, what an adjustment in the air to get the basket. Shanley coming back the other way. Talon Hoffer with a head of steam. Oh, Rainey goes up and sends him down with force. But Rainey, not enough of the ball that time. Gets a little too much of Talon Hoffer. And Hoffer will head to the line after a big-time collision there. So Hoffer back at the line after having just been there. He hits the first one, and now he's got an opportunity to make it a 1-point game. And attempt number 2 is good. So we're looking at a 12-11 game now. As Shanley's putting the press on, trying to flip the script here on the Bruins. Danny Lahai, again with the fast feet, comes down quick. Now he's going to pull up for 3. No good, off target. Sabasic grabbed it, though. Sabasic inside to Rainey. Rainey muscles inside, got the basket, but the travel is going to negate it. Hard work there. Thought he had some points, but DJ Rainey's bucket, no good. Emmett Kenny now to Hoffer. Hoffer slows things down, and now he'll take stock of the situation. Hoffer hands off to Mears, who goes over to Bars. Bars now to Kenny as they continue handing this ball off. Kenny will go out top to Hoffer. Hoffer now slashes in. There's the 2, and there's the lead once again for Shanley. Shanley again trying to put the press here on South, but the Bruins are able to break through. Rainey drives forward, sent a man down. It was Kleva, and I think they'll call Kleva for the foul there.
Falls on number 50, Isaac Kleva. First personal, fourth team foul.
Kleva likely trying to draw the charge there, but couldn't get the referee to bite. And the first free throw is no good from Rainey.
Checking in for the Bruins, Bakar Fula.
Pretty low-scoring affair so far here, Andy. We're already approaching the 10-minute mark, and it's just 13-12.
Yeah, it's starting to look a little bit like the Super Bowl the other night. A little bit more of a defensive game with the combination of not a whole lot of shots getting hit.
Perfect analogy there, Andy. Very topical. Kleva now will inbound to Kenny. Kenny across to Hoffer. Hoffer had some trouble handling the high pass, and it's turned over. Rainey's got it, makes the spin move, and cuts inside. How about DJ Rainey doing some damage here for South? Kleva comes down with it. He goes to Bars. South continuing with the press here. It's worked pretty well so far. Kenny out top now goes to Kleva. Kleva trying to cut inside. Rainey stayed with him the whole way and then forces the turnover. DJ Rainey is having himself a heck of a first half. Lehigh has that one poked out from behind. Sabasic is Johnny on the spot to pick it up. Working along the baseline, it was Fula. And it looks like he may have stepped out there. Here's the inbound to Mears, as Mears goes back to Kleva and then straight back to Mears. Shanley just trying to cross half here as the South press has found some new energy. Some recent successes really making them lay it on thick. It's working pretty well. Townhofer gets some space, goes up for two, tantalizingly close, but could not get it. Isaac Kleva, though, outworks two men down low to get the board. Kleva inside, great feed to Hoffer for two, and the foul! It's great work by Hoffer down low, but it's all set up by the grit of Isaac Kleva.
13 foul, Kieran Mabor back in for the Bruins. Also checking in at number 4, Antoine Clemens. Talon Hoffer shooting one.
So here's Hoffer at the line. Shooting his lone free throw, and he left it short. Unable to complete the three-point play and take the lead, but they are tied. Danny Lehigh looking to change that, and he does! Nothing but net for Danny Lehigh. Emmett Kenny now corrals it on the far side. The offense starting to open up a little bit here. Owen Mears left open for three. Yes, sir! We're tied again, and now the points are really flying. Fula has pressure on him. Bars to Kleva. They get the steal. Now Kenny lets one go and draws the foul. The last 45 seconds or so have contained, well, more action than the previous few minutes, that's for sure.
Yeah, this game got pretty interesting pretty quick.
And that's just what happens when South and Shanley meet. You know, I've been doing these games for 4 years between these two teams, and every year it's always one of the best ones we do here on Shanley TV, as that free throw teased for a long time does not fall for Emmett Kenny. But yeah, it's just something about these two squads. When they meet up, it is usually fireworks. Emmett Kenny, try number 2, and he does get that one. So that's a 1-point lead now for Shanley as Lehigh is met immediately by Braden Bars. Owen Mears moves in to pick him up as well. Bars heavy on top of Lehigh, and maybe a little too heavy as the referee is going to get him for a foul.
Also number 12, Braden Bars, second personal foul, 15 foul.
That's Bars' second and the 5th on the Deacons this evening. Shanley sits at 5, while South sits at 4, and we got 9:09 left in the first. Ambitious pass inside, connects as Mabor elevates sky high to get the basket and the foul. That was a great job by Antoine Clemens to corral a high pass inside, and then Mabor, enough said with the play he made there. Big substitutions now for Shanley, as Kuhneman, DeKaiser, and Warner are all going to come in. So it's Mabor at the line. And he completes the three-point play. Kane Kuhneman missed most of the first half of this season, well, really the whole first half of this season, with an injury from earlier during football, as that ball's knocked out of the hands of Owen Mears. But the last few games, he's been seeing increased minutes. And boy, Andy, they really could use a player like Kuhneman, a senior, a veteran of this team, and perhaps most importantly, a sharpshooter from beyond the arc.
Yeah, definitely. Shanley has not had a lot of success so far this year with success outside the arc. And, I mean, they could use pretty much anyone they got who can hit threes.
And Caden Kuhneman certainly can, as we got a whistle and a foul down low. A lot of points by way of fouling here, and that's in a lot of ways what we expected.
15 foul. Daniel Warner shooting 2.
So Warner at the line to shoot 2. Attempt number 1 is no good. Warner to salvage this trip now. And he does. 1 for 2 on that trip to the line. As this pass intended for Clemens connects. Kuhneman was trying to jump the route, and now it's Owen Mears who does force the turnover. Mears will feed Kenny for the layup. In and out. Kenny couldn't catch a break there. As the ball goes out of bounds, they will say it's last touch by South. So it's not all for naught. Owen Mears will inbound this ball for Shanley as they look to capitalize off of the turnover he generated. Mears out top to Kenny. Kenny had the Kaiser open there for a minute. Instead, he'll keep and then hand off to Mears. Out top, it's Caden Kuhneman. Not a lot of options. He goes to Kenny. Kenny cuts inside. Kicks it back to Kuhneman. Long 2, and he gets it! Kuhneman displays some of that sharpshooting. It wasn't a three-pointer, but it's that mid-range shooting, which perhaps they've lacked even more than the three-point shooting. Lahai with the spin move and then the one-handed pass into Clemens. Daniel Warner takes it away, but then Enoch gets back on top of it. Breeslal over to Enoch. He's going to slow things down and then go to Breeslal in the near corner. Breeslal out across to Lahai. Lahai for 3, and he drains it. 24-22 in favor of the Bruins as Owen Mears has that one poked away and out of bounds. Last touch by Shanley, but it's still a good job by South to disrupt. Kenny now will hand back to DeKaiser. DeKaiser moving forward with a head of steam. Braden DeKaiser couldn't get it to go. Daniel Warner using all of his height there to snatch that one up. He had it knocked away down low, though. That's one area Daniel Warner has had some struggles with. You know, he's got that 6'7", 6'8" type of frame. Very tall guy, as you know. But sometimes he gets caught holding the ball by his hip, and that negates that height advantage, as you know, because now you're letting guys swat at it when if you're holding it over your head, they can't. So that's something that he has had to work on this season, as you saw it there.
Substitution for the Bruins, number 21, Bakar Fula.
Lahai picks up his second as Fula checks in. Inbound is to Warner. He's got 2 guys draped all over him, and it's great defense there. Mabor combining with Sabasic. Here's Mabor on the far wing. Over to Breeslal. Breeslal back out to Mabor for 3. Off the back of the rim, too strong. Talon Hoffer now crosses half. He's looking for anyone. Not a lot of options as that route was jumped, and Mabor goes up high to get 2. Great defense there from Mabor as he took away the pass intended for DeKaiser, and now it's a 26-22 lead for South. Braden DeKaiser in trouble in his own zone. He gets it to Kenny, trying to cross that half-court line, and that's good work by Emmett Kenny. Even though that pass was tipped, it goes out of bounds, so they'll maintain possession. Hoffer with the little bounce pass intended for DeKaiser. Again, the Bruins are able to force the turnover, and Brigelal comes down court with it. Over to Sabasic. Great misdirection from Sabasic, but Enoch couldn't capitalize, and Talon Hoffer scoops up the loose change. Talon Hoffer, again, out top. He kicks it over to DeKaiser. His last 2 attempts to DeKaiser ended in turnovers. That time it ends in a basket. Fula over to Mabor. Now to Brigelal on the far wing. Brigelal looking out top. He finds Enoch. Enoch inside. Mabor, little fake, trying to generate space. He could not. Emmett Kenny moves in to take the rebound. Kenny over to Hoffer in the corner, finds Kleva. 5:50 left to go in the first, as now Kenny was open. He goes up, couldn't get the basket to go, but Daniel Warner gets the putback. Fula moving down court. He has it out top. Feed inside to Sabasic, now to Mabor. Back to Mabor. And a foul is going to be called on Talon Hoffer, it appears, as he got in the way of Mabor. Impeded his progress a little too much, and they're going to get him for it. Free throw attempt, no good. As we're knotted up 26-26. DeKaiser comes down court, hands it off to Kenny. Kenny out top to Hoffer. Hoffer will take his time and direct traffic. Here's the handoff to Kleva. Now to Kenny on the far side. They're continuing to move this ball around. Hoffer, not a lot of options. He just pulls up from the top of the key. Left it a little short, though, and South's coming back the other way. Here's Fula. Inside, Fula looking for 2. Sent it over to Sabasic, out to Mabor for 3. Off the rim, no good. Kleva got there, and DeKaiser finishes to corral the rebound and bring it all the way back down. Braden DeKaiser going coast to coast that time and getting 2 points out of it. Straight back the other way, Kier Mabor has the immediate answer, and that's just the way this game has gone, back and forth. Warner to Kenny on the far side. Kenny kicks it out top to Hoffer. And Shanley's got to be careful. They're getting a little too bogged down here out at the top of the key. They're just not finding many entries inside as Kenny bounces off of a man. Almost lost that one. Kleva picks it up off the ground and takes the 3. It's in and out, though, no good. Mabor. Bounce pass over to Fula. Back to Mabor out top. Kenny got a hand in there but couldn't take it away. Brigelal inside to Sabasic. Hoffer broke that one up, but it still found its way to Mabor. Fula now for 3. Off the rim, no good. Poked out of bounds. And a foul is called on Fargo South.
Also number 13, Alimata, that's his first personal. 7th team foul. Owen Mears back in for the Deacons. Isaac Kleva shooting the bonus.
So Isaac Kleva at the line now to shoot this free throw. As we are still tied 28-28. Kleva able to break that deadlock, make it 29-28. And he's got a chance to make it a 2-point lead here. He cannot, though, as it's in and out. Kier Mabor with the rebound. Mabor over to Brigelal. Brigelal inside, bounce pass, loose on the ground. Fula scoops it up. The double team was on him, and they forced him out of bounds. That is great team defense by Kleva and Mears.
Yeah, so far in this game, defense has kind of been the name of the game for both teams. Both been doing a great job of causing turnovers and getting defensive takeaways.
Certainly, Andy. as Owen Mears will give this one up to Talon Hoffer. Hoffer holds once again, and again, this is where Shanley could really just use a little more creativity on offense. You know, we're seeing a lot of the same plays, a lot of the same entries, and that time it does work. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but it does feel like they could use a few more weapons in their playbook. Brijlal kicks it over to Sabasic. Sabasic from the three-point line, no good, but the putback is good for Mabor. Now 1 point separates these two teams as we have 2:35 to go here in the first half. How about Talon Hoffer? He was trying to get the edge on Rainey, but could not. Hoffer now spins around and gets the finish.
Yeah, Talon Hoffer kind of likes to take those fancy shots every now and then. And sometimes they go in, sometimes they don't. But I guess this time this one wanted to go in.
Well, you know, he's got the athleticism, and he does a good job using it like you saw there. It allows him to pull off a few more of those fancy plays as the shot's no good off the rim. Loose ball. How about Rainey scooping it up and getting it over to Mata? That's great work by Rainey, not quitting on the play. Clava goes across now to Mears. 33-32 our score. Mears moves across half. Pass goes to DeKaiser. DeKaiser out top to Warner at the free throw line. No good, too strong. About 90 seconds left here as that'll be a kick ball on Owen Mears.
Checking in for the Bruins, Sibomana Enoch.
And Enoch will come on for the Bruins. So here is Mabor out top. Bruins cycle. Rainey finds a man. It's Enoch. Outside, Brijlal. Mabor for three, and he drains it. Kier Mabor, unofficially, I believe, at 17 now already in this first half. Braden DeKaiser cuts inside, finds a wide open Hoffer, trying to answer with a three of his own. It's no good off the rim. South headed back the other way, but a travel turns it over.
Traveling violation will be Deacon basketball.
So Shanley with an opportunity to get some points here, perhaps tie this up or maybe even take the lead. 56 seconds remain in the first half. As Hoffer looks for a man, he's got to go way out top to Mears. And Mears will take his time directing traffic. Mears cuts to his right, lost that one, and they'll say it's last touch by Shanley. So Shanley unable to do much at all with the travel by South. Now the Bruins are headed back the other way, trying to add to their lead before the end of the first half. But before they can do that, they're going to take a timeout to game plan here. Neither team taking many timeouts here in this first half. But Andy, it's been very back and forth. South, though, is on top. They haven't led for very long in this game, but they've got the 2-point lead. They're going to try to build upon it. What's the general feel here? You know, it's been kind of a hard game to get a handle on, as it's just been a classic Shanley and South game. Defensive at points, offensive battle at points. But who feels like they've got the momentum at the moment, if anyone?
I think Shanley might have the momentum right now, just kind of coming off that, getting the ball back after a missed opportunity. They probably feeling a little more confident going into with only a couple seconds left in this half. Get with the ball, or excuse me, not having the ball.
I see what you're saying, though.
Yeah.
I think Shanley has... I think they played a stronger first half overall, but to South's credit, they've had a lot more big bursts of energy where they've come on here, and it's obviously worked as they are up 2. So here's Rainey looking at Enoch initially. Instead, it's to Brijlal. His shot will not count, though. I think he was out of bounds. Just lost his sense there where that out-of-bounds line was, and I think a heel went over. So here's Clava looking for Mears. It is broken up, though, by Mabor. And clock takes a while to stop. And there might be a delay here to add a few seconds back to it. And they do add 5 seconds now back to the clock. As I think they're just going to confer to make sure that's the appropriate amount of time to add back, and probably to make sure that there's nothing wrong with the scoreboard. All right, so that's all sorted out. And now here is Isaac Kleva inbounding for Shanley. DeKaiser has it on the near wing. He goes out top to Hoffer. Hoffer takes his time, surveys, moves to his right, gets the screen, now trying to cut back to the left. He could not. And we've got a foul inside. It's like someone was grabbing onto someone. Enoch appeared to have a hold of someone's arm there, and I think that's what the foul is for. So Daniel Wanner is at the line now with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. He's shooting the bonus, so it's 1-1, and he could not get the first to go. So South has the ball now with the shot clock turned off. They can get the last shot, but at the same time, they don't like to hold on to the ball for very long. Rainey inside, kicks it out to Brijlal. Brijlal with it, but we've got a whistle and a foul. And so Hoffer picks up the foul that'll send Brijlal to the line. Attempt number 1 for Brijlal is good, so he'll get a second try here, as it's now a 3-point lead for the Bruins with 6.5 seconds to go in the first. To make it a 4-point game, in and out. Brijlal could not. How about Rainey, though, getting the board, going up for 2. He can't get it. Wanner now will get it to Hoffer. 1 second left, just has to throw one up. And Wanner was up there ready to put it back, but that buzzer sounded, and he had to pull back. I tell you what, this Gymnasium would have lost it if he had had the time to throw down there. But just too little too late. So, at the end of the first half, it's 36-33 in favor of Fargo South. Now let's get you some stats here. Leading the way in scoring for Shanley, it's Talon Hoffer with 9, followed by Braden DeKaiser with 6, and Daniel Wanner at 5. For Fargo South, it is Kieran Mabor leading the way by a mile. He's got 17, followed by Danny Lahai with 8, and then Josiah Brijlal and Ali Mata with 4 apiece. So, it's a 3-point lead for South, but this game has been back and forth. It's Shanley versus South. Nobody knows what's going to happen. So, folks, we will go away for a couple minutes, but you better come right back to see how this one finishes, because I promise it's going to be pretty good. Welcome back to North Dakota High School boys basketball action here on Shanley TV. I'm Jed Thomas, of course, joined by Andy Simon as we're getting set for the second half of play between the Shanley Deacons and the Fargo South Bruins. And folks, before this game began, we said that when these two teams play, it's always good, it's always close, it's always interesting, that's for sure. And that's the case here tonight. Very close game, a bit of an odd game. It doesn't feel like either team's really settled into a flow. It's just kind of one of those nights. But they're both playing well, and they're in a close game, and I think that's all that they care about, that this game's within reach. So with all that said, we are off to the races here in the second half. As Kieran Mabor has the ball in the near wing, he's got 17 points already tonight, trying to make it 19, but he left that one just a hair short. It was well defended inside by the Deacons. Tallenhofer comes down with it now. He hands off to DeKaiser. Shanley really likes to cycle out top like this, try and get some misdirection going. And Owen Mears with some hops that time. He covered a lot of ground getting to the rim. And now Lehigh is in trouble with Mears and DeKaiser all over him. And South takes a timeout. That was great work there by Mears and DeKaiser. They really rode that line. They were hand-checking quite a bit, getting their hands on the ball, but they did a good job not really getting them on Lehigh too much and forcing the timeout. And they are within one now. And boy, Owen Mears, he had the nice basket there, and he's had some points here tonight, but where his presence has really felt is defensively. I mean, he might be one of the best defenders I've seen at Shanley in quite a long time. He just has such, some guys have athleticism, some guys have the instinct, but he's got both of those, and he's really, Andy, I think he's got some killer defensive instinct.
Yeah, he's definitely a very dynamic player, and yeah, he's good on offense too, but he's very locked down on defense, and he does not let a lot get past him.
Just like a great corner in football, he does a really good job mirroring the man in front of him. Very rare to see him shaken off the play. Very rarely gets his ankles broken, as they say.
The kids say.
Here's the shot for three. Off the rim, no good. Daniel Warner gets the board. And now we're headed back the other way. 36-35 again the score. Shanley trails by one. Braden DeKaiser with it. He goes out top to Hoffer, who takes couple steps back, and he'll survey now as he hands off to Owen Mears. Mears goes to Bars. Bars will hand off to DeKaiser. DeKaiser keeps going to his left. Now we'll throw it back out top to Tallenhofer. Hoffer pulling up for two. Short two, no good, in and out. And that ball ends up out of bounds. Last touch by Shanley. Danny Lehigh with it now. Spins around. Bars does a good job staying across from him. Lehigh charging forward. Gets Bars off of him. Nice pass inside and an even better bounce pass to Sabasic. But a jump ball was called as Shanley did a good job getting back on top of the ball. One-point game now. Or one-point game still, I should say. Neither team getting much going in the way of offense here at the beginning of the second half. Braden DeKaiser charging forward. Great feed to Warner. Warner was blocked, but got back to the ball, and Braden Bars hits the three. Doesn't shoot the three a lot, but it's something he's tried to add to his repertoire this season. And it's gotten better as the season has gone on. It helps that he doesn't take a lot because it's really something that teams aren't expecting, and then he just kind of comes with it out of nowhere like you saw there.
Yeah, especially with Shanley, who's not a very three-point heavy team. It's nice to have a little bit of a dark horse who comes out every now and then and can put up a couple threes.
Absolutely, as Owen Mears shows off those offensive chops and gets another 2 points here. Driving inside, Bregelal, that bucket barely falls. It teased for a while, but it went. Hoffer goes across to Mears. Mears moving forward. Lost his handle on it almost, but gets back to it. Now Tallenhofer open for three. Off the front of the rim. Bounces around and in!
I mean, Tallenhofer hasn't really found his groove so far this year, but maybe shots like that will help get him going.
Off the top of the backboard and in. I was not expecting that one to fall, but hey, whatever works. That's 3 points in the books. So out top, it's Danny Lahai trying to answer for South as they trail by 5. How about Lahai? Only listed at 5'10", but he can more than make up for a height disadvantage with his athleticism and his vertical. Just a really explosive athlete, as you saw there. Bars directs traffic as this ball is moved around to Mears on the near wing. Mears gets separation for 3, and he drains it. I don't know what kind of adjustment Shanley made at halftime, but suddenly they have become a three-point shooting team, and they are red hot.
Might have taken a couple sips of Michael's secret stuff at halftime.
Maybe so, as that 3 is good for Danny Lahai. Maybe it's just something in this gym, Andy, as suddenly everybody's joining the party, as now Lahai will get whistled for the reach-in foul on Braden Bars.
For the Bruins. Checking in number 10, Sibomana Enoch, and number 12.
So Enoch and Flomo will check in for the Bruins as Braden DeKaiser looks to inbound. Not a lot of options. He found Bars, but they'll whistle Bars for the foul there as Lahai went down, and they're going to say Bars shoved Lahai to the ground that time. So South's turn now as the quick inbound goes to Lahai. He made the shot, but there was a foul, and it's waved off, and I think they got Flomo there. I'm not sure if it was a moving screen or what, but it was something away from the ball. So right back they go. Shanley inbounds now, and it's Tallenhofer with it. Back-to-back fouls by both teams have led to this, as now Kierma Bohr goes down. Hoffer pulls up for 3. It's in and out. Daniel Warner gets the board, spins around, trying to put it back. He cannot. And then it's the Bruins who come away with it. Out of the scrum, here's Enoch for 2. No good. Loose ball, and Tallenhofer goes down hard. We'll see who they get here. A lot of fouls now over the last minute or so.
Number 10, Sibomana Enoch, his second.
Enoch going to get whistled as Warner subs off and Kleva comes in. DeKaiser with the quick inbound to Hoffer. And now Hoffer makes a nice move, trying to get around Lahai. But again, Lahai just too quick, stays with him all the way. DeKaiser driving in, pulls up for 2, off the backboard, no good. And it's out of bounds, last touched by Fargo South. Quick inbound, here's Kleva spinning around and getting a hard-fought 2. Shanley seems to have found their groove a little bit more on offense here in the second half. As now Mabor will drive to his right, spins around, looking for 2, in and out, cannot get it to go. Ball's out of bounds. Again, off of Fargo South. Braden DeKaiser now to inbound. And the whistle and the foul. Ali Mata will get called. And boy, Andy, a lot of fouls here to start off this second half for Fargo South.
Yeah, both teams, well, sorry, more for South. They've started to come out a little aggressive, a little too over-aggressive, getting a lot of fouls, as you mentioned. Hopefully, don't get too many where Shanley starts to go into bonus, because that could be critical in a close game like this.
Certainly, Andy. And, yeah, it's worth noting, like you said, Shanley actually only has 1 in this second half, so it's a pretty wide gap right now. And so it's something South's going to have to watch. As they cycle this ball around, looking for 2. That shot didn't fall from Mata, and now we're headed back the other way. Kleva goes in the corner to Mears. Mears into Kleva, working along the baseline, spins around. Could not get that one to fall, and the rebound is grabbed by Flomo. Lahai headed all the way down coast to coast. He found Mata. Mata couldn't get the finish. Hoffer got the rebound. Hoffer now moving back with speed. Couple guys reaching for that one. And I think we had a foul on South before Hoffer got the shot up. And so they do get Mata there, and that is foul number 5 on Fargo South in this half. DJ Rainey is in, and he really had a nice first half. See if he can pick up where he left off. But he was making an impact on both sides of the ball, doing a little bit of everything, scoring, rebounding, playing lockdown defense, whatever they needed. Mears cuts inside. Barely splitting the gap there. Couldn't get the shot to fall. Hoffer got to it, though, and was fouled underneath. And that is foul number 6 on Fargo South as Talon Hoffer heads to the line.
Fouls on number 12 plus Cuomo, second personal foul. Talon Hoffer is shooting 2.
Attempt number 1 is good for Hoffer. And attempt number 2 as well. So that makes it 50-43. And Shanley most definitely has the widest lead we've seen here tonight. Lahai coming back down, finds Enoch. Enoch looking for 2. Really nice play to get the shot off, but it just did not fall. And now DJ Rainey's going to pick it off. But we got a foul going against Fargo South. Rainey picks up his second, and now Shanley is in the bonus like we talked about. DeKaiser. Quick inbound to Bars. Bars moving to his right. Lahai reaching in. Couldn't take it away. Now Bars goes across to DeKaiser. DeKaiser out top to Mears. Owen Mears will give it off over to Hoffer. Hoffer moving to his left. Athletic play, but could not get the finish.
Yeah, both teams have kind of struggled with that tonight. Getting a good shot off, but not quite letting it go in for the easy layups like that.
Absolutely, Andy. They're doing a good job generating the opportunities, but they haven't had the touch to finish, as Isaac Clava will get whistled for the foul here. Got his hands in the face of Lahai that time, and then he took a shot, I think, into the midsection. So here is Danny Lahai shooting 2. Attempt number 1 is good for Lahai.
And for the Bruins, number 31, Semso Sudicic.
And attempt number 2 is also good for Lahai, able to make it a 5-point game. Brijolal will come in with a 11:08 left to go here in the game. And we've got another foul going against the Bruins here. And they just cannot catch a break.
Yeah, if these fouls keep up and Shanley can really start to capitalize on those free throws, they can really start to run away with this game.
Certainly, Andy. And it is worth noting Shanley is shooting right around 60% for this game. So they've done a good job capitalizing. It could be better, but all things considered on the season, that's a good number for them, as Hoffer's second attempt does not go. So here's DeKaiser spinning around. He's blocked by Rainey, and Enoch corrals that one. Kier Mabor comes down court with it. He goes over to Brijolal. Brijolal out top to Enoch. Enoch couldn't grab that one. Does get back on top of it. Now he goes in the corner to Brijolal. Brijolal step back 3. High arcing does not go, and it's out of bounds as it hit the wiring above the net. DeKaiser goes down to Kleva. Kleva to DeKaiser, now to Hoffer, and Mears on the near side. Kleva spins around looking for two. Rainey stayed with him well, and then Kleva gets whistled for the foul.
Balls on number 50. Isaac Kleva, third personal. 13 foul.
Rainey with some nice moves to get around, but then that pass is intercepted by Hoffer. Hoffer made a heck of an adjustment to get around Rainey, but then could not get the finish. Here's Mabor now, quick three. No good off the front of the rim. And now out top, it's Brijlal, open. Will not go, Sabasic. Can't get that one to go. Finally, maybe. No, but a foul was called on Shanley. South, great offensive rebounding, couldn't get the finish, but they do draw the foul.
Looking a bit like a volleyball game under that hoop on that last play.
Certainly, Andy.
Daniel Warner checking in for the Deacons.
Fargo South shooting at a 67% clip here tonight at the free throw line. That will take a small hit, though, as that one does not go. Braden DeKaiser comes down court now. He hands off to Kenny. Kenny to Mears. Mears, great feed to DeKaiser along the baseline, and a great move under the hoop. Mabor moving down court with it. Mabor with a head of steam, up for two. Yes, sir. Kenny will go over to Hoffer on the near wing. Hoffer moving in, trying to pull up for two. Rainey got a hand in there. Hoffer fights for it, though, and rips it away from Enoch. Now Mears lets one go for two. Yes, sir. Brijlal moving along the far side now. 7-point game. He kicks it out to Rainey. Rainey drives inside, finds Enoch on the outside, working along the baseline, looking for two, and it drops. And now it looks like a double dribble will send this ball back, so Fargo South has a good opportunity. And how about Mabor off the inbound, making this a 3-point game. South has done an excellent job battling back here. Shanley's kept them at arm's reach for most of this second half, but now they're getting inside. Warner back to Hoffer. Hoffer pulls up, long two, no good off the rim, and then that ball ends up out of bounds off the hand of Rainey. Kier Mabor at 21 now for the night. His pace has certainly slowed here, but that is in keeping with the rest of South's offense in the second half. Hoffer now will go out top to Kenny. Sabasic, great job closing the gap there. Had to be careful, but Talon Hoffer is going to make up for it with the three. Moving back down, it's Mabor. Mabor at the top of the key. Throwing it across, trying to find Sabasic. Does a great job tracking that ball down. And now working along the right side, we've got a couple of guys slipping up. And it looks like we got a foul on Shanley, I would assume. And yeah, they do get Kenny here for his second.
Daniel High back in for the Bruins along with number 12, Bless Flomo.
So 58-52 our score with 8:01 left to go. That foul, not a shooting foul, but it does put Shanley at 5 now, 2 away from the bonus. Mabor, not a lot of space to work with, and he got stuffed there. He was trying to make something out of nothing. Shanley made him pay. Hoffer pulling up from way downtown, short off the front of the rim. So here's Kieran Mabor to bring it back down court. His Bruins trail by 6. At the top of the key. They'll go over to Lahai. Lahai inside. That one's tipped by Hoffer. That one almost tipped into the basket. That would have been something.
Close one for Talon there.
And now here goes Kenny with a lot of Bruins on him. He kicks it back out to DeKaiser. DeKaiser leaves that one just a hair short. And the Bruins are headed back the other way. Kieran Mabor at the free throw line. Rainey now has it underneath. Throws one up for 2. And he does get it. Makes it a 4-point game. Shanley trying to break the press here. They're going to have to move. Lyer finds the edge around Mabor. Nice bounce pass over to Shrema. And there's the finish for Roman Shrema. Lahai on the move now. Moves around Lyer, and he gets the finish to answer immediately. DeKaiser now comes down with it. Throws up the 2. Doesn't get it. Shrema trying to get the putback. Could not get it, but he does draw the foul.
Falls on number 23, DJ Rainey, 3rd personal. 19th foul, Roman Shrema, 2.
Shrema's first attempt is no good. Off the back of the rim.
And number 11, Josiah Bridgall.
Shrema here to make it 1 for 2 on this trip to the line, and he does. Brijlal moving down court with it. Has that one knocked away by Kenny, but Danny Lahai, Johnny on the spot. Lahai moving in, throwing up a 2, doesn't get it. Loose ball, and Jackson Lyer picks it up. Hoffer has it now as he hands off to Mears. Mears inside, gets tied up, and there's the travel. You could see that one coming as he just got his feet kind of tangled up and ran out of room to dribble.
Yeah, it's hard to adjust when something like that happens to you.
So now coming back down with it, it's Danny Lahai. Lahai finds Brijlal. Brijlal trying to get the screen. He's going to step back for 3, and he drains it. Long range 3, and now it is just a 2-point game. Mears, hand off to Hoffer. And now Talon Hoffer going to slow things down as he gives back to Mears. Mears will hand to Kenny. Kenny going to go to Lyer. Lyer across to Hoffer. Not a lot of penetration here for the Deacons as finally Hoffer drives in and he makes South pay. 63-59 now. Lahai at the free throw line. Trying to get the shot to fall, but could not, and Kenny goes back to Hoffer. Hoffer way down court, able to find Lyer. Lyer's ball goes off the rim, picked up by Sabasic. Now back down, he finds Brijlal. Brijlal almost blocked by Kenny. Instead, I think they'll get Kenny for the foul and send Brijlal to the line.
Falls on number 10, Kenny, 3rd personal.
They were trying to spring Brijlal there. He ran out of room, but Kenny committed the foul, so he'll get to go to the line.
Braden Kaiser back in for the Deacons. Kieran Mabor back in for the Bruins.
DeKaiser and Mabor check in for Shanley and South, respectively. Brijlal on his second attempt is good. So 63-60. Now our score is Shrema goes back to Hoffer here, and Talon-Hoffer is going to try to work past Mabor. Hoffer crosses half with it. Mabor staying tight on him, gets the screen from Shrema, but who'd they get? Was Shrema over-aggressive with the screen? No, Mabor was moving too hard into Shrema. And that will put Shanley in the double bonus. And with the final 4:30 left in this game here, that is not what you want. Shanley with a guaranteed 2 for every foul. Now the referees are going to have a conference here. So they don't change anything about the call. They have just had a discussion about how they want to call that going forward. First free throw attempt for Shrema is no good. Try number 2. In and out. DeKaiser does a great job fighting for the board. But I think he may have had a foot out of bounds when he touched that ball. I think that's the call, as this one's turned over to South nonetheless. So 3-point game still, now under 4:30 to go. Sabasic out top. Cuts inside, lost it, loose on the ground, it rolls out of bounds. It'll be Shanley basketball. Good defense from the Deacons.
Breaking bars back into the Deacons.
DeKaiser goes to Mears, back to DeKaiser, looking down court. Spins around, trying to cut back inside, had it knocked away, and Danny Lahai takes it. Lahai moving in, looking for 2. Great adjustment midair. Makes the tough shot, and now we are looking at a 1-point game. Mears crosses half court now. He hands off to DeKaiser. DeKaiser to Hoffer, who hands to Bars. Bars driving, bounce pass to DeKaiser, who gets the 2. Shanley fending off this Bruin comeback, at least for now. Lahai drives forward. Bars doing a good job staying with him. Mabor has it now out top, and he hands back to Brijlaw. Brijlaw gets some space, finds Mabor for 3. Kier Mabor ties it up with 1 shot.
Got a bit of a game now, folks.
That's for sure, as now Talon-Hoffer is going to try and slow things down for Shanley. They have had that lead for the majority of the second half, and it has just now gone away. Braden Bars cuts inside, wanted the shot, pulled up at the last second, and gave to DeKaiser. DeKaiser flips it up with one hand. He wanted the foul called. Shrema, meanwhile, got the rebound. The shot's waved off, but a foul was called here on Josiah Brijlaw, and Braden Bars is going to the line to shoot 2. And this is where that double bonus comes into play here, Andy. That foul, it's not a shooting foul, but it doesn't matter now, obviously, in the double bonus. Bars gets to go to the line for 2, and that's so crucial, even though he can't connect on the first. It's so crucial in a game like this. Free throw for Bars is no good. He goes 0 for 2 on that trip, and that is unfortunate for Shanley. South, though, gets to breathe a sigh of relief. And now we've got a whistle and a timeout taken by Fargo South. Probably a smart timeout here, as this final 2:44 decides this game, obviously, as we're all knotted up 65-65. And Andy, how about South battling back here? They were down 7. They were down 9. They were down by pretty wide margins for this game, as it had been pretty close the whole time. But they just kept inching back eventually, and finally that 3 from Mabor got him back in it.
Yeah, I mean, with all the momentum Shanley had kind of starting the second half, a lot of people might have thought it might have been over. But, I mean, South, they've just been playing really gritty, getting a lot of shots off, playing great defense. And, yeah, like you said, they've just been slowly climbing their way back to the top, and now we got a tie game.
Yeah, just very determined this South team has been. And Shanley, to their credit, they never eased off the gas pedal. They did a good job responding. They kept it off as long as they could, but eventually, you know, it just felt like it was going to go, and that levee did break, and South got this thing tied up again.
Yeah, things are definitely kind of starting to click a little more for the South offense.
Good timing as well, as obviously this is the crucial stage in the game. All right, so the full timeout burned by the Bruins here. They will have the ball. Mabor inbounds and finds Brijlal. Bars has him tied up at half court. Brijlal bounce pass to Mabor. Mabor looking inside, nothing there. He's going to drive in himself. Hoffer knocked it away, and Bars got on top of it. Mabor wanted the call but didn't get it. And so Mears is going to come down court, has Bars in the corner, spins around looking for someone. He eventually does go to Bars at the wing. Now Talon Hoffer holds onto it, directs traffic, and hands off to Braden Bars, who hands off to Braden DeKaiser, who gives it right over to Owen Mears. Mears cuts inside. Mabor shuts him down. He goes over to Hoffer. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Hoffer's going to have to do something with it. Steps back looking for three. Yes, sir! And the foul!
Excellent play there by Talon Hoffer to make the shot with the foul.
The rare 4-point play potential here. How about Talon Hoffer? Could not have picked a better time. And you could feel he was looking to set that three up. Once the shot clock went under 10, he knew that that was really his only option. And how about it? The free throw to complete it. All of a sudden, 69-65. Shanley regains their lead in the best way possible. Danny Lahai cuts inside, hands it off. South looking for a big play of their own. The basket does not fall, but Ali Mata is headed to the line.
17 foul. Ali Mata shooting 2. Checking in, number 24, Roman Strema.
Strema will come in for Shanley. And the free throw attempt is good for Ali Mata.
Just like to add, Ali Mata is 100% on the free throw line tonight so far, folks.
Well, he's got one more left on this trip. And you could feel that coming, Andy.
Sorry for the jinx.
The announcer's jinx. Shanley paying you to say that one there, Andy? So 69 to 66 our score. After Mata misses his first free throw of the night there and goes 1 for 2 on that trip. Here's Owen Mears on the far wing. About 90 seconds left to go in regulation. He goes to Hoffer in the corner. Hoffer looking for another three off the rim this time. Mears gets the rebound, though. Bounce pass intended for DeKaiser. Couldn't connect. And now here goes Mabor. Mabor on the far side, looking for Lahai out top. Lahai in the corner, finds Brijlal. Bars closes the space. And that ball went out of bounds. Last touch by the Bruins. Turning it over. Rainey comes in now for Fargo South as Braden DeKaiser will inbound. Minute 16 on the clock. Talon Hoffer takes it. Mabor trying to force the turnover, playing tight defense. Instead, he'll get called for the foul. Now Talon Hoffer has a huge opportunity here. Again, there's that double bonus playing a role. Automatically gets 2 here.
And Talon Hoffer is shooting 73% so far at the charity stripe tonight, folks.
So let's see. You'd love to hit both of these if he can hit just one. All right, well, now he can only hit just one as the first one is in and out.
Maybe let's ease up on the comments about free throws.
Yeah, well, perhaps we should just stop talking. Well, I don't know what's going to work.
Yeah.
Hoffer goes 0 for 2 on that trip, so it's still a 3-point game. South, though, they've got to capitalize. They don't need 3, but they need points. Lahai pulls up for the long 2. Rainey trying to get the rebound. He was all alone battling against 3 Deacons. And then they call the foul on South as Mabor collides with Talon Hoffer. Or excuse me, Lahai will be the one who collided there and got the foul called against him. So Hoffer is going to get another try here to shoot 2. And that's not what South needed. That was a low percentage shot. You know, it's the deep 2. It's kind of low risk or high risk, low reward there. At that point, you may as well take the 3. And they don't get it, and that's a tough break, as now South is going to take a timeout here, down 4. They just can't score at the moment, Andy.
No, yeah, they can't really get anything going right now at this point.
So in this timeout, they're going to have to figure out what the plan is for the final 52 seconds of this game. Obviously, if it keeps up like this, you're going to have to start intentionally fouling, but that's, once again, where the double bonus comes into play, as any foul here is 2 free throws, as you know. So that's where it comes back to hurt you.
Yeah, I mean, being this close, this last free throw could possibly determine the end result of the game. If he makes it going up 5, it'd be really hard for South to get those 5 points within 52 seconds.
Agreed, Andy. I mean, there's a big difference at this margin, you know, from 3 to 4, from 4 to 5. It just gets worse and worse, you know, if you're South every time they score. It's likely part of the reasoning in taking the timeout now. Maybe you can get him thinking about the free throw, try and get him iced a little bit. Certainly plays a role. So here's Hoffer at the line, shooting his second free throw. And he drains it. So 71-66 now. South's going to need to score fairly quick. Bregelal drives down looking for the 2. What a finish from Bregelal with one hand. And now Hoffer has it. They're not looking for the deliberate foul, but they're playing some very physical defense. Hoffer finds Bars. Did Bars step out of bounds? They will say he did. The best case scenario there, if you're Fargo South, you got plenty of time on the clock. You didn't have to take the foul, and now they can take the 3 to tie it or take the 2 to keep things manageable. Whatever you do, you want to go pretty quick here, especially if you're taking the 2. They want it all, though. How about the bank shot? 3 from Mabor to tie it.
Well, the bank is open tonight, folks.
That is for sure. That's number 27. 27 points here from Mabor tonight. My goodness. What dramatic fashion for Mabor to tie this game up. And that's could not have gone better for Fargo South coming out of the timeout. They take the timeout. Hoffer did hit the free throw, but they get the quick 2. They don't have to deliberately foul. Shanley turns the ball over, and then Mabor sinks the 3. How about that?
Guess the basketball gods really looking over South for these last couple seconds.
That is for sure, Andy. A well-played last 30 seconds or so here. A little luck from the basketball gods, and we're tied up 71-71. Still, though, we have 22 seconds left here, and in basketball, that is worlds of time. Plenty of time. Shanley's going to get the ball here. They've got a chance to score. And South here, it's tough because Shanley can just kind of crash the net and hope that they draw some contact. South's going to either have to just play fearlessly and not worry about the free throws if they get a foul called, or they're going to have to play soft and potentially let Shanley score. And Shanley's got a lot of choices to make here, too. Do you want to hold on to this ball? Do you want to get the last shot here? And, I mean, obviously, you probably want to get close to the last shot, maybe try and run the clock down, because then if you don't make it, you get the overtime period. I don't know. It's a lot to think about.
Anything can happen, folks.
Glad I'm not Coach Burns here. Glad I'm not either one. High-pressure situation. So here is Hoffer, 20 seconds and counting on the clock. He comes across half court, patient, Gets some space, driving towards the net, flips one up, doesn't get it. Rainey finds the open Enoch, driving for the layup, and he gets it! 5 seconds left, and Shanley takes the timeout. A nightmare scenario for the Deacons.
Getting a little lightheaded watching these last couple seconds, Chad, I'm not going to lie. Very exciting.
That could not have gone worse for Shanley, and it could not have gone better for South.
Yeah, it seems as if the tables have turned in South's favor.
That is most definitely the case. I mean, that's exactly what you want if you're Shanley, Andy. I mean, Hoffer had space. It looked like an open path to the net. You get the two. You maybe even get someone swatting at you to get a three-point play. Instead, right as Hoffer came in there, DJ Rainey all of a sudden comes out of nowhere. And when a guy like DJ Rainey is in your path, you're getting out of the way. If you're Talon Hoffer, that's a big man. And Hoffer tries to make the adjustment in the air. We've talked about that. He makes those adjustments, but he doesn't always convert. That time, could not get the shot to fall, and then out of the frenzy for the rebound, somehow they lost Enoch, and, well, you saw the rest. That's why Shanley's down 2 now, with 5 seconds to try and tie it up or throw one up for the win. .6 seconds left. It is all coming down to this. So here's DeKaiser with the inbound to Mears. 5 seconds, he's got to move with some urgency. 2 seconds left, you got to get a shot up. And he gets it! Owen Mears at the buzzer, yes sir!
What a game.
How about some free basketball? Get a load of the replay. We don't quite get all of it, but you see the shot go in and you see the reactions. And Andy, I gotta be honest, I'm watching Owen Mears come down the court, and I'm thinking, what are you doing? He looked like he was taking a leisurely stroll down the court, and, you know, there's about 2 seconds left. He almost lost the ball down here, and then he just throws one up. How about, I mean, he comes down looking as cool and collected as can be, didn't look worried about the time once, and then drained that thing like he was just in practice.
I mean, you gotta wonder if he planned that. It was just a perfect storm of events.
You can't plan something like that, Andy. That was...
I mean, maybe he's just a basketball genius. What a play.
Well, boy, no lack of entertainment here tonight. What did I say? When these two teams play, it is fireworks without fail every time they meet up. Something special happens, and tonight is no exception.
Yeah, this is a little more like an atomic bomb going off rather than fireworks.
I would have to agree. So we'll have a 4-minute overtime period now. All knotted up 73-73, but it's basically like we're back to 0. It's like a brand new game of basketball. It'll be Shrema and Mabor for the tip. And it's Mabor who wins it forward. Brijlal gonna circle around out top. He hands off to Rainey. Rainey on the wing finds Enoch out top. There was a tie-up and a travel called against Kier Mabor. That's an unfortunate turnover there, just 12 seconds into overtime. South is going to give this ball back to Shanley. Hoffer comes across now for the Deacons. He hands off to DeKaiser. DeKaiser now to Mears, the man of the hour, as he bounces that one over to DeKaiser. Straight back to Mears. Mears moving in, spins around, looking for two. It was tipped. Hoffer collected it midair and then was fouled. Mabor did a good job getting his fingertips on that shot. But Talon Hoffer got back to it, and now he's at the line.
That's his 5th.
Lahai picks up his 5th. And so he is done for the evening. And that's a huge loss, especially if this thing stays as tight as it is right now. Lahai is one of your best three-point shooters, if not your best three-point shooter, if you're Fargo South. That's a huge loss. And Hoffer hits free throw number 1. Number 2 for Hoffer is good. So he goes 2 for 2 on that trip, as Shanley now leads 75-73. Mabor works his way past Mears at the top of the key, goes over to Bregelal. Bregelal found the man, it was Sabasic. Inside now, how about Rainey for the finish?
Nice little pass there by Subasic to kind of fake the pass and just throw it back into him.
Bars with the fake out, goes over to DeKaiser. DeKaiser to Mears, and then to Hoffer. Hoffer's got the double team on him. In trouble, he found Schrema. Schrema had Bars open. Couldn't find him, though. Nobody saw Bars there, as that ball was knocked out of the hands of Schrema. Last touch, though, by Schrema. So we're tied up, and South's going back the other way with a chance to take the lead. Mabor over to Rainey. Out top. Found Bregelal. Bregelal drives inside, almost lost it. Kicking it out to Mabor. Mabor thought it was tipped, and it was. Heads up play there by the senior guard not to touch that ball. Rainey out top. Rainey gets tripped up, and now that ball's loose, went through the legs of Sabasic. Bregelal driving in. Oh, Bars took it away, but they call the jump ball. The possession arrow is with Shanley, however. So Braden Bars making a heck of a defensive play. You can see it on the replay there, just tearing that one away. Hoffer. Hands off now to DeKaiser. Bars in the corner, back to DeKaiser. And now out top to Mears. Schrema. Shanley cycling around well. Bars is wide open. Pass was a little late. And the shot from Bars was off target. So Mabor is headed back the other way, going behind the back. He holds up, crosses half court now. Mabor finding space, elevating for 2. Yes, sir.
Great little move there to get that two-pointer up there.
That's just what he does, Andy. Now it's a 2-point lead for South. Owen Mears with it out top. Right across from Mabor. He goes back to Hoffer. Hoffer looking inside. Cuts to his left. Trying to answer. Oh, he goes down hard. And they'll call a foul on South. So Hoffer going to the line with 1:30 left and a lot of pressure.
Third personal. Tellen Hoffer is shooting 2.
Hoffer good on his first attempt. Attempt number 2 for Hoffer is good as well. Absolute money when it matters. So 77-77 our score. Mabor comes across half court. Hands off to Bregelal. Bregelal with Bars across from him. Bounce pass inside, Rainey for 2, and he gets it. Hoffer has it now for Shanley, as both teams are trading blows. He fakes the handoff to Bars, goes over to DeKaiser. Now back to Hoffer. Hoffer working along the baseline, spin move off the glass. No, but another foul, another chance for Hoffer. And under a minute to go.
Tellen Hoffer shooting 2.
First free throw attempt is good for Hoffer.
Number 40, Joe Cava.
Second attempt is good as well.
His clutch gene's really showing up this OT right now.
That is for sure. Mabor headed back the other way. He's got an open path, and he was fouled on his way. And honestly, Andy, I think that's a better call than just letting him go up for the 2.
Foul number 20, Owen Mears, second personal.
So Mears gets his second.
Mabor at the free throw line.
And Mabor is a capable free throw shooter. It's just, I think, yeah, if you let him go unimpeded, he's going to make you pay. Attempt number 1 is good for Mabor. So he's got the 1-point lead. Looking to go 2 for 2. And he does. Clutch free throws from Mabor and from Hoffer. Both teams' leaders going back and forth. 81-79. Hoffer hands off to DeKaiser. DeKaiser taking it in himself. Goes up off the glass. And another foul. They just want this one decided at the line, I guess.
Yeah, looks like whoever can make the most free throws wins.
Well, you know, it's an important part of the game, and we said that it was going to play a big role. So Braden DeKaiser, it's been Hoffer taking him the last few times, but now the sophomore. He's got the pressure on him. In and out on the first attempt. And that one stings a little extra, the way it just teased. So here's attempt number 2. Can't tie it up, but it's still very important. And he does get that one. So it's a 1-point game. Shanley now going to play some tight defense here. Mears just about forced a turnover. Instead, Mabor's coming down. He had Enoch wide open, but couldn't get to him. Rainey will hand off to Mabor. 30 seconds left. They can run it down to 5. Mabor got pressure on him from Bars, and Bars just has to take the foul here.
Fouls at number 12, Braden Bars.
That's a good move by Bars. I think it's better to send Mabor to the line than allow him to run that clock all the way down. Because it's still a 1-possession game even if he can convert here. Try number 1 is no good. So that's all he'll get. And now 23 seconds left. Shot clock's turned off, and Talon Hoffer has the ball. Working against Enoch. Here goes Hoffer across half. Looking, he's got Mears in the corner. Mears, does he have some magic left for 2? Yes! Owen Mears makes it a 1-point game. Here go the Bruins. 10 seconds left, no timeouts. Mabor is tied up.
Timeout taken by the Bruins.
And they do have a timeout. The scoreboard showed 0.
Full timeout.
But they get the timeouts in overtime. And so with 4.9 seconds left, how about the defense by Shanley containing Mabor there at half court?
They seem extremely determined to win this game right now after that 2-pointer and that tight defense right there.
So Mears, once again, he hits the shot to send this thing to overtime, and then he hits the shot to take the 1-point lead. But that's the scary thing, a 1-point lead.
Yeah, Owen Mears, he's played a great job, or he's done a great job so far tonight, and in the words of Randy Moss, he's just been straight cash homie all night.
Could not have said it better myself. So 4.9 seconds is all that's going to be left on the clock. Any basket does it here for Fargo South. It's their turn, perhaps, to get the buzzer beater. The pressure is on. And once again, Lehigh, one of their best shooters, is not in as he fouled out. So here we go. Mabor to inbound. The whistle blows, and here it is. Brigelal's got it on the far side. 2 seconds left. He lost it. Mabor's got to put one up at the buzzer. Just short. Shanley pulls it off.
What a game, fellas.
They made everybody in this gymnasium sweat, but they pull it out in the end. Brigelal lost the handle. Mabor had to scoop it up off the ground, and he just did not have the time or the space to really put up anything. Credit, though, for even putting up the shot he did, because I honestly didn't think he'd get it off the way that ball was loose on the ground. But in the end, it's Shanley and it's Owen Mears, the magic man here tonight, getting those 2 crucial buckets. He gets the game tire to send it to OT and the game winner. Owen Mears, have yourself a night. I believe we do have some final stats coming up here. Get a look at those before we take this off the air. And so, our final totals for Shanley, it's Tallenhofer. Owen Mears got the big baskets, that's for sure. But Tallenhofer, 33 points on the evening, not to mention some incredibly clutch free throws. He was followed by Owen Mears with 16 points, some incredibly important points there at the end. And then it was Braden DeKaiser with 11 behind them. For Fargo South, no surprises here. Kieran Mabor with 31 did everything in his power to will his team to victory, but came up just a little short. He was followed by Danny Lahai with 19, and then Josiah Brijlal behind him with 12. So at the end of the night, some great individual performances on both sides, but it is Shanley who comes away with the 1-point win, 82-81. Andy, it's like I said, fireworks when these two teams play. Any closing thoughts on one heck of a game?
I'm left a little speechless, not going to lie. Great game. I mean, both teams stayed gritty the whole game, but Owen Mears just the hero of the night. Won the game for the Deacons. Good on him.
Absolutely, Andy. I think speechless is the right way to put it. We don't have many words left to say, so we're just going to wrap it up here for tonight. For Andy Simon and for our entire crew, I'm Jed Thomas. Your final score from Fargo, Shanley Deacons 82, Fargo South Bruins 81. To watch the archive version of this entire game and our other broadcasts, go to ShanleyTV.com. The proceeding has been a presentation of Shanley TV.